A girl had been living among the bookshelves for a month. She thought books were incredible, a way to know what people were thinking hundreds of years ago. Suddenly, she opened a mysterious book that told the story of the continent of Cresentia. The elven kingdom of Silva was an ancient and storied nation. King Theron, one of its greatest kings, had crushed a rebellion with an iron fist and brought the kingdom into an era of glory. But he was also a tyrant. During his reign, women vanished from all public offices, both civil and military. The iron-willed king found any excuse to drive women from the public sphere, trapping them in their homes. He desperately wanted a son to inherit his throne, but tragically, all he got was a mountain of princesses and not a single prince. On the day the queen went into labor, the entire kingdom waited with bated breath. The scene shifted. The girl, lost in her book, accidentally fell from a ladder. As the book hit the floor, a flash of light erupted, and the world started spinning around her. When she opened her eyes again, she was shocked. Why did this scene feel so real? And wow, the king was handsome. But the weirdest part was that she could hear everything they were saying. She had been transported into this world. And in a terrible twist of fate, she had been reborn as the queen's newborn baby. To make things even stranger, the queen also named her Cheryl. Yes, she was now an infant, and the very first thing the king did after picking her up was rip open her swaddling to check. In the plaza before the palace, the king held up an infant and announced to the people the birth of a prince. But that baby, the little prince receiving the nation's blessing, wasn't her. Back in the palace, Cheryl lay there completely miserable. "I'm the queen's baby," she wanted to scream. The queen looked just as helpless. The king had already announced to the world that he had a son, Prince Satan. Poor Cheryl was now completely alone. It turned out the tyrannical king had swapped his own daughter with his younger brother's son. To keep the secret, he even had his brother and sister-in-law killed, and every person who knew the truth was placed under a magical binding. And as for Cheryl, she was about to be sent to the divine spire as a sacrifice. When the transported Cheryl learned all this, she was devastated. "This is a nightmare-level start. How am I supposed to survive this?" After taking care of everything, the king came to see his daughter. He looked down at the tiny infant with disdain and picked her up roughly. "Just this little thing. Not cute at all." Cheryl fumed silently. "You don't like me? Well, I don't like you either." The king turned and ordered coldly, "Bring Prince Zayden in. And you, queen, remember this. He is your child." Then he shot a disgusted look at the little princess. "As for her, send her to the divine spire." The so-called divine spire was a place of sacrifice. Anyone sent there was doomed to die, though it was said their souls would be claimed by the gods. The moment the baby princess heard this, she started wailing. "Give me a break. Are you even my dad? Who could be so cruel?" The queen broke down, sobbing hysterically. She begged frantically for her daughter's life. "Cheryl is my own child, your majesty. Please spare her. I'll send her far away. I swear no one will ever know who she is." Luckily, the cold-hearted king had a tiny sliver of mercy left. Before leaving, he muttered, "Just make sure I never see her again." A carriage slipped out of the palace quietly. In a remote corner of the city, the queen handed Cheryl over to a man. From that day on, they would live worlds apart, never to meet again. Though her heart was breaking, the queen had no other choice. And just like that, the newborn princess was sent away. A few days later, at a manor on the outskirts of a small town, a group of maids were whispering, "I heard the baron brought a baby home, but he already has 3 sons." "He has another kid out there? Men are all pigs. The poor lady of the house must be heartbroken." But in the baron's room, his wife sighed after reading a letter. "This child has truly had a bitter start in life." Suddenly, the door banged open, and in walked the baron's second son, Arden, the eldest, Mikhail, and the little troublemaker, Avery. They had heard from the servants that their father had brought home a baby. Baron Valyrias took the opportunity. "Come here, all of you. You need to know about this. From this day forward, she is your little sister. Her name will be Cheryl Valyrias." The second son, Arden, immediately lost it. "I'll never accept the child of some mistress. She has bad blood in her veins." Even the usually calm and composed eldest brother shot her an icy glare. Arden kept yelling at his father, "You're 50 years old, have some self-respect, you're disgracing our family." The little troublemaker, Avery, then dropped a bomb, asking their dad, "Who's the mistress?" The baron slapped his forehead. "Oh no, this misunderstanding has gotten way out of hand." His wife, who knew the truth, tried to explain. "I've already forgiven your father. Let's not speak of this again. Arden was furious. Mom, he's not worth it. You should let the old man go live with his mistress. Seeing the situation spiraling, the Baroness spoke sternly. Do not pursue this matter any further. No one is to speak of it again. All I know is that Cheryl is our child now. Arden looked like he was about to faint from rage. He stormed out, slamming the door behind him. The Baron and his wife sighed helplessly. It seemed the children weren't taking it well. But they owed an immense debt to a certain someone, and Cheryl's identity had to remain an absolute secret. So the Baron had to take the blame. And so little Cheryl settled into the Valyrias household. Though her brothers hated her, everyone else was kind, especially the Baroness, who treated Cheryl as if she were her own. One day, the Baroness was carrying Cheryl for a walk in the garden. The little baby was happily soaking up the sun when she saw Arden playing with his dog, a Bichon Frise named Lucky. The sight of Cheryl in his mother's arms just made Arden angrier. He looked at the dog toy in his hand and an idea sparked. He threw it right at Cheryl's head, shouting, "Lucky, fetch!" The dog leaped towards the Baroness, and everyone screamed in panic. The Baroness stumbled, and Cheryl went flying out of her arms. Only then did a look of horror cross Arden's face. After a perfect arc, little Cheryl landed on the grass. It hurt so much she wanted to scream. Ow! That really, really hurt. The Baroness quickly scooped her up, checking her frantically. Oh my goodness, is that a bump on her head? The Baron rushed over, asking anxiously, How is Cheryl? What if she's hurt her head? The little girl was crying her eyes out. You think my head's hurt? I'm just in pain. After a thorough checkup by the doctor confirmed it was just a surface injury. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. The Baroness angrily scolded Arden. How could you do something like that? What would you have done if something serious had happened to Cheryl? How would you feel if we had to get rid of Lucky because of this? Did the dog eat your conscience? You're grounded for 3 months. Now get over here and apologize to your sister. Arden was still a little defiant after the scolding, but the eldest brother, Mikhail, put a hand on his shoulder and told him he'd gone too far. The little troublemaker Avery also whispered a secret to his brother. That girl is a witch. You can't mess with her. You're so dumb. Mikhail interrogated Avery, asking if he'd done something. Avery shook his head frantically. I didn't do anything. But Mikhail grabbed him. Using black magic on a normal person. Do you know what the punishment is for that? Terrified, the little rascal confessed. Big brother, spare me. I only used the weakest black magic, a curse to make her lose 5 pounds, but it didn't work. She's immune to all black magic. What is she if not a witch? Mikhail was speechless. Why don't you use such a great spell on our friends who like this story? When a reluctant Arden came to her bedside to apologize, he inexplicably blushed. But Cheryl had already noticed the look of panic on his face when she went flying. He hadn't actually wanted to hurt her. He was just being a kid, trying to give the newcomer a hard time. Thinking this, Cheryl gave him a cute smile and gurgled something that sounded like, "Bro there." That one sound turned Arden's face beet red. She smiled at me. He was instantly flustered. He looked down at the tiny hand Cheryl held out and almost involuntarily took it. The feeling was so strange, so this is what having a little sister felt like. It was amazing. Arden felt like his heart had been struck. Watching this, the Baron and his wife finally relaxed. Kids are simple after all. What Cheryl didn't expect, however, was that in the days to come, this second brother would annoy her to death. Faced with a babbling little Cheryl, Arden surrendered without a fight. The little troublemaker, Avery, was still complaining. She doesn't act like a newborn at all. The eldest, Mikhail, shot back, and you don't act like a 4-year-old with all the trouble you cause? Ever since that day, Arden was constantly in the baby's room, visiting at least 10 times a day. Seeing his enthusiasm, the Baroness would remind him, Your sister needs to sleep. Go play outside. Arden would pout, But Father grounded me so I can't go out. Why does she have to sleep so much? I'll stay here and play with her. Meanwhile, his dog, Lucky, was probably getting lonely enough to grow moss. Arden convinced his mother to go rest, saying he would watch over the baby. The Baroness was pleased. It seemed her son was growing up. But for Cheryl, this was not a good thing. Seeing Cheryl sleeping so still, Arden got nervous. Is she not breathing? He poked her chubby little cheek, so soft and bouncy. This is fun. She moved. My sister's alive. His finger kept poking. Hey, your favorite brother is here to play with you. I'm right here, so you better wake up. Cheryl was woken up by the racket. I feel like I was dreaming about 1,000 crows cawing. It can't be this brat, can it? She waved her little fists, babbling in protest. I'm so tired, you little monster. But in Arden's eyes, this translated to, you want me to hold you. Cheryl was screaming internally, go away, I need to sleep. But Arden, trembling slightly, reached out his hands and mumbled to himself, all right, I guess I can hold you. You know, Avery never dares to ask me for this. He clumsily lifted Cheryl. Whoa, my sister's so soft. And she smells nice. Cheryl, on the other hand, was terrified. This idiot is holding me so awkwardly. Please don't drop me. She instinctively wrapped her arms around Arden's neck. The little troll completely misunderstood. Wow, my sister really likes me. He started bouncing her happily. Since you like me so much, I guess I'll reluctantly accept you. But by now, Cheryl was about to pass out. She was not happy at all. This pest was always running over to her room, and she couldn't even get a decent nap. Cheryl endured this for 3 miserable months. The Baroness took great care of her every day, but she was a little confused. Why did Cheryl barely have the strength to drink her milk? She had no idea that Cheryl was forced to play with Arden every day. The boy was treating her like a living doll. A problem that stumped a 12-year-old was easily answered by an infant. It started when Baron Valyrias gave his sons a challenging math problem. Arden, who could barely get 1 + 1 right, broke into a sweat looking at the large numbers and just took a wild guess. Mikhail laughed at him for guessing wrong. You're such an idiot. Even 3-year-old Avery got the right answer. Cheryl was curious. What kind of problem was it? When she crawled over to the board, she was stunned. This is basically kindergarten-level stuff back on Earth. Seeing Arden get it wrong again, the Baron sighed and threatened to send him to a monastery. Arden panicked. But my dream is to be a knight on the front lines. His father was exasperated. Ever since King Theron took the throne, there are no illiterate knights in Silva. Hearing the name Theron again, Cheryl seethed with anger. It's all because of that guy that I ended up like this. She crawled closer to the board and examined the problem. Just then, the Baron prompted Arden, "What's your answer for the second question?" Arden was about to lose his mind. How am I supposed to know the answer to such a hard problem? Can someone in the comments help him out? Just then, little Cheryl gurgled and pointed to one of the choices. Arden, having nothing to lose, just blurted it out. To his astonishment, he was right. He scooped up Cheryl and planted a few kisses on her cheek. You're my little lucky star. Cheryl, dizzy from being shaken, was fuming inside. It's not me, it's you. Your basics are just terrible. The scene made the Baron break out in a cold sweat. The youngest, Avery, immediately accused his brother of cheating, pointing out that the little witch had helped him. Arden, thrilled to finally get one right, wasn't about to admit it and angrily denied it. The Baron stepped in, scolding Arden for not studying, but then he turned to Avery. I heard you used a curse on your sister? Hearing this, Cheryl nearly exploded with rage. That little troublemaker used a curse on me. I'm going to rip you to shreds. Avery explained pitifully, I just wanted to make her lose 5 pounds, but it didn't even work. I think she must have a null body. It turned out that in this world, a null body referred to the rare few who were immune to magic. Little Cheryl wailed in fury. I only weigh a few pounds to begin with. You were trying to kill me. Avery shot a sharp glance at Cheryl, making her heart pound. She had a feeling this little kid was more than he seemed. Could he have figured out I'm not from this world? But she didn't want to think about it. As a little girl, she was always bullied because other kids had brothers and she didn't. She never imagined that after being reborn into a book, she'd suddenly have 3 handsome older brothers, each one better looking than the last. But when she woke up, it was just a dream. Awake now, Cheryl felt a little disappointed, but then she thought about it. It was kind of incredible. She really did have 3 brothers. They were all a bit unreliable, but they would definitely grow up to be handsome. The Arden in her dream was so gentle, though she wished he were a bit smarter. She wondered what Mikhail the eldest would be like. But Avery, he used magic to curse her. That kid would definitely not be a good brother. While she was lost in thought, the Baroness came to get her. They were going into town for supplies and wanted to take her along. After trying on 81 different outfits, they finally picked one just before Cheryl had a complete meltdown. Hearing about the trip, Arden immediately ran over. Whenever they went on a long trip, his mother was always generous with gifts. After being firmly told no, he shamelessly claimed that Cheryl would cry if he wasn't there. But the Baroness already knew that he'd been bothering Cheryl so much lately that the baby would probably be happier without him. After shaking off the annoying Arden, they finally made it to town. Looking at the architecture, Cheryl got a better sense of this world. Then she overheard passersby talking about the divine spire. It seemed people in this world believed in gods, who were said to grant magical abilities. The little girl grew curious, wondering if she could learn magic herself. The Baroness stopped at a dessert shop, thinking she'd bring something back for Arden to make up for leaving him. But just as they walked in, someone called out to them. 3 lavishly dressed women greeted them, but they all had a fake catty vibe. One of them immediately brought up the sore subject. "Is this the child from that famous affair?" Cheryl's heart sank. "Oh no, I've got a bad feeling about this." The women continued their chatter. "I can't believe we ran into the Baroness here. After what happened in your family, I'd think you wouldn't want to show your face in public. Baron Valyrias is just too much, not even revealing who that woman is. Is he still trying to protect her?" After delivering her backhanded comments, the woman covered her mouth with a smirk. The others offered fake sympathy with cold expressions. The Baroness started to regret coming in here at all. Seeing them bullying her adoptive mother, what would Cheryl do next? Faced with the women's snide remarks, the little girl deliberately squeezed the large grape in her hand, splattering juice all over the gossiping woman's dress. The kind Baroness, worried Cheryl might be choking, rushed to check on her. Instead, the little girl called out in a tiny, slurred voice, "Mama!" The Baroness was so moved she was on the verge of tears. "Cheryl just called me Mama!" Then the little girl planted a big kiss on her cheek, which left the Baroness completely stunned and charmed. The 3 gossiping women were also captivated by how adorable the baby was. The Baroness beamed with joy. "This child is just so attached to me. She may not be my biological daughter, but she's dearer to me than if she were." She took the opportunity to clap back. You know, women shouldn't put too much stock in men. Sometimes a loving and devoted child is worth more than anything. With that, she lovingly stroked Cheryl's head. The sweet, loving scene between the two of them made the gossipy woman clench her fists in anger. It turned out her own child was still being raised elsewhere and couldn't come home. She quickly changed the subject, turning to flatter the woman next to her. "This is the esteemed Lady Rosalind. Her sister is the little prince's personal handmaiden. She's quite a favorite of His Majesty now." But Lady Rosalind just frowned. "My sister has her own troubles. I heard the last group of handmaidens were all executed for some reason. Lately, the palace maids are replaced every 6 months." Hearing this, Cheryl's heart skipped a beat. That must be the king's doing, getting rid of any maids who might expose the prince's true identity. The history books also recorded that the Valyrias family was very good to Cheryl, and she spent a peaceful childhood with them. Unfortunately, once the king and the prince discovered her whereabouts, her life spiraled into a tragedy she couldn't escape, becoming a puppet manipulated by others. Thinking of this, Cheryl was filled with indignation. "Since I've started this life, I refuse to just sit back and wait for disaster." But in this world, how could she take control of her own destiny? When she saw a book titled An Introduction to Magic, an idea immediately formed in her mind. It seemed learning magic was the only reliable way. As the Baroness bought a stack of books for the eldest son, little Cheryl babbled and pointed at a book. The Baroness was puzzled. Why would a child who couldn't even read be interested in a book? But the moment Cheryl held the book, she became determined to master magic and protect herself. Faced with a dazzling array of toys and pretty clothes, she wasn't interested in any of them. Just as everyone was wondering what gift she would choose, Cheryl picked up a book called An Introduction to Magic and started flipping through it as if she were reading. The sight made the Baroness cover her mouth and laugh, while the maids exclaimed, "That's amazing! A 3-month-old baby who loves books!" But Cheryl's mind was just as blown. The writing in this world was completely different from her own, yet somehow she could read it all. She learned from the book that magic and Cresentia had 2 main theories. One school of thought believed that the gods created the world, and incantations were the keys to unlocking that divine power. The other believed that the world was made of various elements, and magical incantations functioned to arrange those elements. Either way, to master magic, one first had to learn the incantations. Just as Cheryl was engrossed in her studies, a maid started dangling a cat toy in front of her. Cheryl was about to lose her mind. "Do I really look that stupid? Being a baby is so hard. All she wanted was to read in peace." Suddenly, out of the corner of her eye, she saw her eldest brother, Mikhail, reading quietly. As a 15-year-old boy, none of the servants dared to bother him. Cheryl looked at him with envy, wondering when she'd finally grow up. Soon it was dinner time, and Cheryl was still engrossed in her book. The Baroness found it strange. She didn't know why Cheryl had stopped liking naps and now just wanted to hug a book all day. Can a child this young really understand it? The third brother, Avery, seized the opportunity. "I told you she was a witch and you didn't believe me." All he got for his comment was a harsh glare from Arden. Baron Valyrias, however, was delighted. Children grow up so fast. Before we know it, Cheryl will be sitting at the table with us. Just as he finished speaking, the room suddenly went dark with a pop. Cheryl realized this world had power outages too. Then a ball of fire appeared out of nowhere. Mikhail was slowly conjuring a flame in his hand. With a wave of his hand, a massive firebird soared through the room. Cheryl was stunned, but then she got excited. So this is magic. The firebird swiftly lit the candles on the walls, and in an instant the room was as bright as day. Cheryl was completely in awe of Mikhail. "So my big brother is a master of fire magic." Cheryl was filled with admiration. From that day on, she would secretly crawl to her big brother's door, dreaming that she too could learn magic. But her aloof big brother would just pick her up, take her to the Baroness, and complain, "Keep an eye on Cheryl. Don't let her bother me." At that moment, Mikhail seemed like a demon, and Cheryl was too scared to even breathe. She had finally met the toughest nut to crack in this world. No matter how much she tried to be cute or clever, her eldest brother remained completely unmoved. At 15, Mikhail was the definition of a star student. In the Elven Kingdom, where public education wasn't yet widespread, his exceptional intelligence caught the eye of a sage, who recommended him for the Royal Academy. But he had a cold personality and wasn't interested in anything besides his studies. One day, outside the academy, Arden was sent to deliver something to his older brother. He noticed a group of girls always following Mikhail around. One of them even boldly invited Mikhail to lunch. Mikhail glanced at Cheryl and an idea struck him. He picked her up and turned to the girl. "I'm sorry, I have to take care of my little sister." Both Arden and Cheryl were shocked. When has he ever taken care of me? As expected, the girl walked away, disappointed. Mikhail explained, "That's a duke's daughter. We can't afford to offend her." It turned out that the title of baron was the lowest among the nobility, and the Valyrias family was just that, a barony. Watching the duke's daughter leave, Mikhail was in a good mood. This Cheryl prop is quite useful. Then, he actually brought little Cheryl into the classroom with him, just to use her as a shield to avoid being bothered by other female students. As Cheryl watched the teacher lecturing passionately, she was completely captivated. So this is what magical incantations are like. She had tried so hard to win Mikhail over with no success. And now, by a complete accident, her wish had come true. Mikhail watched Cheryl listening intently. This little one is even more focused than I am. He poked her chubby cheek, and she shot him an annoyed look as if he were disturbing her class. Mikhail was finding it harder and harder to figure this little girl out. But he continued to use her to fend off wave after wave of girls, so much so that even Arden couldn't get a chance to hold her. 5 years passed just like that. In a letter to the Queen, Baron Valyrias wrote, "The little princess is doing well here. She is exceptionally intelligent, and everyone who meets her praises her. She loves to sit by Mikhail's side and read, never making a sound, and can stay quiet for a whole day. She also loves playing with Arden. She is truly a gift from the heavens, and I believe it is because she has inherited your Majesty's divine bloodline. I hope the day comes soon when the princess can be reunited with you." After finishing the letter, the Baron let out a long sigh. This might be the last letter he'd send to the Queen. They had been told not to write anymore. Knowing Cheryl was growing up safe was enough. A girl sent away by her own mother at birth, now a bright and lovely 5-year-old, but who would have guessed she was actually from another world? She used fairy tales from Earth to win people over, vowing that in this life she would no longer be the helpless, bullied Cheryl. As her adoptive parents watched her tell the story of Little Red Riding Hood, which no one had ever heard before, they felt it wasn't necessarily a good thing. Cheryl didn't seem like a normal child. She was too smart, too perceptive, basically a little adult. The Baron worried, if she only stands out here in the countryside, that's one thing. But what if some prince or minister takes a liking to her? She'll be dragged into court politics. And then her secret identity will be impossible to hide. Just then there was a knock on the door. Mikhail came in and said directly, "Cheryl is 5 years old now. We should hire a tutor for her." "What are your plans, Father, Mother?" The old couple looked at each other, unsure how to answer. Mikhail continued, Cheryl is very smart, perhaps even more so than I was at her age. With a good education, she could become a renowned figure in the kingdom. The Baroness panicked. But isn't that exactly what we're afraid of? She blurted out. I just want Cheryl to stay by my side. Mikhail was taken aback. Mother, how can you think that way? Haven't you always treated Cheryl as your own child? But the Baron cut him off coldly. Cheryl is still young. We'll discuss this later. The sounds of their argument caught the attention of the maids. I hear it's because of Lady Cheryl. Master Mikhail is usually so obedient. I can't believe he'd talk back to the Baron over her. These words happened to reach the ears of the third son, Avery. He was already annoyed, so he headed toward his father's room to see what was happening. Just then, Mikhail stormed out, ignoring his younger brother's call and leaving without a backward glance. Seeing this, Avery's resentment grew. Why does Big Brother only care about that little witch? Before, his mother and brothers all doted on him. All the family's love was his. But ever since Cheryl arrived, everything had changed. No one paid attention to him anymore. Even when he was hungry, his mother just told him to ask the cook for food. Everyone was revolving around this illegitimate child. Why did she get to take everything that was his? At that moment, Cheryl pushed open the door. Avery gritted his teeth and squeezed out a few words. I will never accept you. The words hit Cheryl like a ton of bricks, leaving her stunned. She thought sadly, I guess you can't make everyone like you. He's the only one in this family who still holds a grudge against me. It seems no matter which world you're in, you can't escape homework. Arden was in agony. The weather is so nice, I really want to go out and play. He hugged Cheryl and started to bawl. Sob. You must think I'm stupid because I can't do my homework, so you don't want to play with me anymore, right? Cheryl sighed. This brother of hers was great in every way, except his brain was smaller than a walnut. She had heard that Mikhail had argued with the Baron because of her. The Baron was probably worried that if she received a good education and was noticed by a high-ranking official, her identity might be exposed. And in the history books, she did indeed lose her life after her identity was revealed. But if she didn't get an education, she'd just be a weak, ordinary person. So Mikhail wasn't wrong, but Baron Valyrias wasn't wrong either for trying to protect her. But she couldn't let them keep fighting over her. With that thought, she hurried to Mikhail's room to talk to her big brother, suggesting she could study on her own. The clever Mikhail saw right through her. You're just saying that because you're afraid I'll fight with father again, aren't you? But have you thought about what people will say? They'll think you're being treated differently because you're an illegitimate child. But little Cheryl said, I don't care what other people think. I know my father, mother, and brothers love me, and that's enough. Mikhail looked at her, surprised. You're saying that I love you too? The little girl replied confidently, Of course. Mikhail affectionately patted her head. Don't worry, I won't fight with them anymore. But just you wait, I have a plan. A few days later, a distinguished guest arrived at the manor. Cheryl peeked curiously from the doorway. It was the great scholar, Dr. Davies. He had come to ask Mikhail to be his graduate student and eventually take a position in the field of education. He was here today to get the Baron and Baroness's opinion. Naturally, the couple was thrilled. Dr. Davies was a renowned scholar after all. As they were talking, a maid brought in a tray of fruit and accidentally bumped into the peeking Cheryl. Just as Cheryl started to apologize, Mikhail called her in. Cheryl was confused, wondering why he wanted her to come in. Mikhail introduced her to the scholar. This is the little sister I told you about, Cheryl Valyrias. This surprised Dr. Davies. I never thought the cool and distant Mikhail would be so fond of his little sister. Hearing this, Mikhail's expression turned serious again. It's not that I'm fond of her, it's more like a meeting of minds. In time, you'll see that my sister is extraordinary. He then beckoned Cheryl over to greet Dr. Davies. When Cheryl heard the name Dr. Davies, her heart skipped a beat. This is the Grand Scholar of the Elven Kingdom, and a favorite of King Theron. But if I get involved with the royal court, my identity will be in danger. The only thing to do was to pretend she wasn't that exceptional. She immediately acted shy, a move that surprised her older brother. Baron Valyrias, however, breathed a sigh of relief. It's like this child knows exactly what I'm worried about. Mikhail picked up little Cheryl and tried to coach her. You can recite the last 10 digits of pi, right? But little Cheryl just whimpered, Brother, I can't remember. Arden was devastated. You're not my sister. Give me my real Cheryl back. As expected, Dr. Davies saw this and thought the child was nothing special after all, certainly not as brilliant as Mikhail had claimed. Having successfully bluffed her way through, Cheryl let out a long sigh. Now Dr. Davies wouldn't pay any attention to her, and the Valyriases could relax. But they had just been talking about the queen. She hadn't seen her mother since birth and had no idea how she was doing. She decided to sneak over and listen in. At that moment, they were discussing King Theron. In recent years, he has pacified all the border disputes and brought the Dark Elves and other clans under his rule. He is truly the greatest king in our kingdom's history. And with Queen Althea's gentle influence, she brings stability to the realm. Queen Althea is of noble birth, yet she is so kind and gracious. She is a blessing to our kingdom. A famous poet even wrote a poem in her praise. A beauty in the north, peerless and alone. The words slipped out before Cheryl could stop herself. Oh no, I just subconsciously recited a poem from the history books. A round of applause broke the silence. Dr. Davies asked her kindly, "Little girl, how do you know that poem?" Cheryl had to play dumb again. A traveling minstrel at the manor recited it once, and I just remembered it. Dr. Davies was delighted and pulled out a letter. It seems we found the perfect person for this invitation. Her Majesty the Queen hosts a court banquet every month. I'm sure she would be thrilled to know that a 5-year-old child knows the poem written in her honor. Little Cheryl held the invitation, unsure what to do, and looked to the Baron. The Baron thought that while it was risky for Cheryl to attend the banquet, it was being hosted by the Queen herself. It had been 5 years since the Queen had last seen Cheryl. This might be their only chance to reunite. Missing it could mean never seeing each other again. So he readily agreed. Dr. Davies was pleased. In that case, your whole family should prepare to be received by Her Majesty the Queen. Now 5 years later, the little princess finally has a chance to go to the palace and see her real mother. Her adoptive mother dressed her in a beautiful outfit, praising how pretty she looked. It had been 20 years since the Valyrias family, once a prominent house, had been to the palace. Even the boisterous Arden was seriously choosing his clothes. A plain hat just won't do for a handsome face like mine. The cool and distant Mikhail was even practicing his court etiquette. The whole family was busy preparing, except for one person sulking in the corner. Avery, the little troublemaker, was still hostile toward Cheryl. But when Cheryl noticed him looking glum, she walked right up and invited him to come to the banquet with her. She thought, after I've been this nice, you have to give me some face, right? But the little brat just coldly replied, "Who wants to go?" Cheryl was so annoyed. This little kid is so much trouble. Avery waved his hand dismissively and walked away, though he was thinking to himself, well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to go. Meanwhile, in the palace, Dr. Davies was trying to persuade the stubborn king to support his Universal Education Act. King Theron was skeptical. Are you saying commoners should receive the same education as royalty and nobility? Dr. Davies explained patiently, the royal family does indeed possess an extraordinary bloodline, but among the millions of commoners, there are some with remarkable talents. I have a student who is so exceptional, he surpasses even me. If we could cultivate more pillars of the state like him, it would be a blessing for our kingdom. The king nodded in agreement. Dr. Davies pressed his advantage. That student of mine has a younger sister. Technically, she isn't allowed to attend school, but she is truly talented. Before he could finish, the misogynistic Theron cut him off. Why does a woman need to study? Women should be at home, taking care of their husbands and children. Dr. Davies wouldn't give up. This child is truly different. At just 5 years old, she can recite obscure poems. Could we make an exception and allow her into the royal primary school? Besides, she is of noble birth. The Valyrias family performed great deeds for the previous king. He then placed a portrait of Cheryl on the desk. Theron waved his hand impatiently. All right, I've heard you. You may leave. After Dr. Davies left, Theron picked up Cheryl's file with a frown, but he only glanced at it before tossing it into the trash. Soon the day of the Queen's banquet arrived. The Valyrias family arrived as planned, and the prideful Avery had tagged along after all. As Cheryl looked at the magnificent palace, she felt a sense of familiarity. Is it my mother's scent? 5 years. She was finally back. Arden was bouncing with excitement, amazed by all the different people from foreign lands he'd never seen before. The cool and handsome Mikhail also became the center of attention, charming countless young ladies. But the Baron and his wife received some bad news. Her Majesty the Queen was feeling unwell and could not attend the banquet. so Cheryl wouldn't be able to see her real mother after all. Cheryl was deeply disappointed. The lively party meant nothing to her. She quietly tugged on the Baron's sleeve and said she needed to use the restroom. Feeling down, Cheryl wandered aimlessly. In the history books, the banished Cheryl never saw the Queen again. I really hope I can see my mother next time. But before she knew it, she had wandered far off. When she finally realized where she was, she panicked. Oh no, where am I? She was always getting lost in her past life. How did her terrible sense of direction follow her into this book? Staring down the empty corridor, Cheryl was terrified, her legs trembling. Suddenly, she heard a rustling sound behind her. She whirled around in fear and froze. A figure reached out a large hand to grab her, his voice booming, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Cheryl was completely petrified, breaking out in a cold sweat and shaking uncontrollably. She remembered what the Baroness had told her once inside the palace. Don't speak to anyone except the Queen. So she kept her mouth shut. But when she got a clear look at the person, she nearly died of fright. After a second of shock, she turned and ran for her life. Oh no, this is the worst luck. I ran into that pig, Theron. If he catches me, I'm dead. She pumped her little legs and ran as fast as she could, but suddenly 5 burly men appeared in front of her. One of them grabbed her. Cheryl struggled to get away, but in the next second, she was brought before the king. Theron reached out and held her up, leaving her dangling in the air, unable to move. When she confirmed that the man in front of her was indeed Theron, her face instantly turned pale with fear. Theron stared at her with cold, hard eyes, a look that could kill. Cheryl clenched her fists, trying hard not to cry, but the terrifying pressure radiating from him was overwhelming. He was like a devil. Insolent brat trespassing in a restricted area of the palace. Do you know that disturbing His Majesty is a capital offense? She backs away in fear, trying to escape. But a guard grabs her and starts dragging her off to be fed to the wolves. She tearfully reaches out to her father for mercy, but all she gets is a cold "kill her." With a final snap, it's game over. Because no one liked this story, Cheryl's journey has ended prematurely. You're all responsible. But when she snapped out of it, Cheryl was surprised to find that it was all just her imagination. She looked up at her father in terror. What do I do? Is he going to kill me? He probably doesn't recognize me, so it should be fine, right? But she couldn't stop shaking. King Theron was a little surprised by her expression. What a pathetic sight, this poor child. Scared, weak, and lost, like a homeless stray. He turned and ordered displeasedly, "Find out where this child came from." A subordinate immediately replied, "Today is Her Majesty's banquet. The child probably wandered off from there." "She has offended Your Majesty. I will have her taken away and executed immediately." But Theron uncharacteristically said, "That won't be necessary. Just send her back." So why do you all think Theron let Cheryl go? Back at the palace banquet hall, little Cheryl was escorted back by the king's personal guard. As they marched majestically through the crowd, people who didn't know what was going on started whispering. "Whose child is that? What a grand entrance!" Someone with sharp eyes exclaimed, "Those look like the king's royal guards. That kid is so lucky." Cheryl nearly stumbled hearing that. "Lucky? You call almost losing my head lucky?" As the guards left, Cheryl let out a huge sigh of relief. The Baroness and her brother rushed over anxiously. "Oh, Cheryl, we thought you were lost." Cheryl could only explain, "I got lost and a guard brought me back." She didn't tell them about meeting King Theron, afraid of worrying them. But no matter what, it seemed she had survived this time. Ever since Cheryl came back from the palace, she had been refusing to get out of bed. The memory of her father's fierce gaze filled her with anxiety. A constant sense of unease made her feel like she was on pins and needles. The Valyrias family was very worried about her. It seemed like something was weighing on Cheryl's mind, and she wasn't her usual cheerful self. Mikhail analyzed the situation with concern. Cheryl has never been one to slack off like this. Is she sick? Her troll of a brother just said, "My sister must be possessed," and got his head smacked by his mom. But the intelligent young man thought back to the banquet. Cheryl had been brought back by the king's personal guard. Could something have happened at the palace? Meanwhile, in the palace, King Theron was lost in thought. His eyes happened to glance at the trash can. He lifted his hand and snapped his fingers. Cheryl's file flew out of the bin and landed in his hand. It turned out the king was a powerful mage. When he saw Cheryl's portrait, Theron was a bit surprised. "So this is that pathetic little stray I met." The next day in the headmaster's office, As soon as Mikhail walked in, Dr. Davies greeted him with good news. "I've finally managed to arrange what you asked of me. His Majesty the King has agreed to let your sister Cheryl enroll in the royal primary school. But don't get too excited. The king wants to interview her himself." When Mikhail got home, he shared the news with Cheryl. Hearing that her own father wanted to interview her, Cheryl nearly had a breakdown. "Some great brother you are. You're basically throwing me to the wolves." But the oblivious Mikhail was still encouraging her. "Congratulations, Cheryl." Cheryl was on the verge of tears. Is this really where my story ends? At a meeting with the kingdom's nobles, they were furious when they heard they were expected to fund schools for commoners. Why do commoners need to learn to read? They just need to work for us. That old fool Davies should be hanged. King Theron listened to their selfish arguments with deep disdain. Just then, a guard reminded him, "The little girl you scheduled for an interview has arrived." After being brought into the palace by a maid, Cheryl was simply left alone. Just let her wait here by herself. The silent palace made the little girl nervous. I wish Mikhail were here. 10 minutes passed and still no one came. Cheryl was about to cry from fear. But all this time, King Theron was watching her from above. A guard suggested, "Should we send a maid to her? She seems a little scared." Theron replied with amusement, "No need. She is scared, that's true. She's fearful, weak, and lost, but she also has a calmness beyond her years. She's an interesting little thing. Let's go down and see her." Hearing footsteps, Cheryl was about to hide. But when she saw who it was, her eyes went wide with terror. "Theron?" She quickly composed herself and stammered a greeting to the king. Inside, she was freaking out. When did he get here? Has he been watching me this whole time? Theron asked, a little surprised. "Why aren't you afraid of me?" His words made Cheryl tremble again. Is he talking about the last time I ran into him? What do I do? The history books say Theron has a volatile temper and executes people for no reason. If I say the wrong thing, I'm done for. Thinking fast, she started to flatter him. "My mother told me that His Majesty the King is like a god and should be respected, not feared. And last time, I wasn't scared of you, Your Majesty. I was scared of the unknown in the darkness. Only a wicked person whose identity is a mystery is scary. A person of status wouldn't do evil so easily." After saying all that, Cheryl felt a little proud of herself. I've buttered him up so much, he probably won't punish me now. But the king saw right through her. This little one doesn't mean a word of that. Yet Theron wasn't angry. In fact, her response was familiar to him. It reminded him of a little boy who had once been just as subservient in front of his older sister. Shaking off the unpleasant memories, Theron turned back to Cheryl. "Do you want to attend the royal primary school?" Without a second thought, Cheryl replied, "Yes." She figured since she couldn't escape this, her only chance was to become a powerful mage who could control her own destiny. Theron smiled faintly. Well, at least that was an honest answer. The scene changed, and now Theron was having tea with Cheryl. Cheryl was internally screaming, "Oh my God, I'm sitting this close to this pig." Theron suddenly asked her, "Why do you want to study? You're only 5 or 6. Why waste your best years on books?" Cheryl was silent for a moment, then looked up with determination. "I want to become a mage." But she had no idea that the man in front of her, King Theron, was the most powerful mage on the entire continent. When the king heard that Cheryl wanted to become a great mage, he was amused. "You want to defy the limits of your bloodline and rely on hard work alone?" Of course, he had no idea that the cute little girl in front of him was his own daughter. He asked Cheryl, "Is your brother a student at the Royal Academy?" The little girl immediately brightened up. "Yes, my brother Mikhail is brilliant. He was scouted by the great scholar and admitted without an exam." Cheryl thought to herself, maybe this pig isn't so bad after all. Theron stared at her for a long time before asking, "So, what can you do?" Cheryl was taken aback. Theron took a sip of his tea. "Have you forgotten? This is an interview. Show me what you're good at. I'll test you." Cheryl felt a little stuck. Performing some low-level magic in front of him would be pointless. What could she possibly do that would impress him? Then an idea struck her. I'll show you the power of an earthling's basic education. I can recite pi to 100 decimal places." As she began, 3141596, everyone was stunned. A child this young was incredible. How could she remember a number that long? But before anyone could cheer, Theron slammed his teacup down on the table with a crash. A dark aura surrounded him. He felt a familiar discomfort, the old fear of being controlled by his older sister washing over him again. With a dark expression, he stood up and commanded coldly, "Someone get her out of the palace." Little Cheryl was completely baffled, with no idea what she had done wrong. A clueless guard was still praising her. "Little Cheryl is amazing. I just used an appraisal spell to check, and she didn't get a single digit wrong." He immediately shut up when Theron shot him an icy glare. It was only after overhearing the maids whispering that Cheryl understood. Only the former monarch, Theron's older sister, had been able to recite pi to 100 decimal places. His Majesty must have been reminded of her. And so Cheryl was escorted to a carriage. As the palace grew smaller in the distance, she thought dejectedly, well, that backfired spectacularly. So why do you all think King Theron got angry? And will little Cheryl get another chance to return to the palace? I heard that when the Valyrias girl had her audience with the king, His Majesty just stormed out. The nobles were buzzing. What did she do? She's got some nerve. I don't know how they're going to fix this. The Valyrias family is in big trouble now. Cheryl spent a tense week filled with anxiety. But thankfully, Theron didn't issue any punishment. Arden is going to flip out when he finds out. This invitation is from Dr. Davies. All the guests are top scholars. Arden hates studying. He'd just be bored. Cheryl, you've never been on a long trip before. Will you be scared? Did you pack enough things? Don't worry, Mother. Mikhail will be there with me. It'll be fine. Dr. Davies had invited Mikhail and me to stay at his manor for a while to discuss a special project. But I suspected Mikhail had arranged it just to help me clear my head. Don't worry, Father. I'll take good care of Cheryl, Mikhail assured him, but their father was still worried. Did Dr. Davies really invite Cheryl personally? Yes. The professor is a favorite of the king, so I don't think His Majesty is actually angry. A king wouldn't get upset over a child. Big brother, don't you feel guilty at all? The Valyrias family is on the verge of disaster, and you're taking the little witch out of town to avoid the trouble, all while making it sound so noble. You, get over here. How about now? Feeling better? And so Mikhail and Cheryl set off. Cheryl, are you still upset about the king's interview? Cheryl knew her brother had arranged this trip to the manor specifically for her, and she didn't want him to worry. She thought for a moment before saying, "Yeah, everything was going fine, and then I don't know what happened." He just suddenly got angry and left. It's okay. Even if you can't get into the royal primary school, being tutored by Dr. Davies is just as good. The king has always been unpredictable. Don't worry about it too much. Is it really okay to say the king is unpredictable out loud? It's fine, there's no one else around. Hearing that, Cheryl finally let her feelings out. That pig is so infuriating! Cheryl, you're the first person to ever get a personal interview with the king. That alone is pretty amazing. Mikhail was the best. After opening up to him, she felt much better. Maybe he had some kind of healing magic. At Devonshire Manor, Dr. Davies was already waiting for them. Thank you for having us, Professor. Don't be formal. I have a lot of materials I need your help organizing, haha. Cheryl looked around. So this was the famous scholar Dr. Davies' manor. It was so elegant. It looks like Dr. Davies has a guest. Should we take another route? What are you talking about? Since when does the king make way for others? The king had secretly arrived at a private wing of Devonshire Manor, which made Dr. Davies a bit nervous. I didn't know you were visiting, Your Majesty. I apologize for not welcoming you properly. I'll seal off the manor at once to ensure you're not disturbed. No need. It's stuffy in the palace, so I came out for a walk. Why go to all that trouble? I hear you've invited scholars and celebrities to compile a new textbook? Yes, if the Public Education Act passes, we'll need a curriculum. I plan to present the textbook to you once it's finished. Right now, the manor is filled with scholars and sages. If they knew how much you valued this project, they would be incredibly honored. Your Majesty, I'm so moved. I'll arrange for them to greet you tomorrow morning. We'll see. Don't try to schedule my time. I'll just look around. You go on with your work. The next day, when Dr. Davies went to see the king, he was told His Majesty had gone hunting. The professor sighed. The king is so unpredictable, I'll just have to play it by ear. Meanwhile, Cheryl was eating like there was no tomorrow. The food here was just too delicious. Everything here is amazing. It's paradise. Devonshire Manor was filled with an artistic atmosphere, and Cheryl loved it. She was having a great time. During a banquet, Mikhail brought Cheryl along. She complained that she hadn't brought any nice dresses. With a snap of his fingers, Mikhail changed her into a beautiful gown. Cheryl was even more in awe of her brother. "I didn't know you could do transformation magic." "It's simple. It's an ultimate illusion spell, but it only lasts for 15 minutes. "A second is enough. I'm the prettiest girl at this party." After a few days of fun, Mikhail started working on the task Dr. Davies had given him. They were creating a set of basic textbooks for the Elven Kingdom, covering all sorts of subjects. Mikhail suggested adding the ancient Elven language, but not making it too complex. Dr. Davies agreed, but they were stuck on a name for the textbook series. It needed to sound official and dignified, but not too clunky. Cheryl spoke up. "How about standard compulsory education textbooks?" "Education is a citizen's duty?" The others weren't so sure. "Learning should be joyful. Why should we frame it like a chore using the word compulsory? Only when education becomes a mandatory universal duty can we guarantee that everyone has a fair chance to learn. It's our generation's responsibility to strive for this." Dr. Davies was amazed. To think my life's pursuit could be summed up so perfectly by a little girl. A nation's strength lies in its youth. My entire life has been dedicated to finding talents like this. He couldn't help but exclaim, "Mikhail, your sister is a real treasure." Everyone was in high spirits when an unexpected guest arrived. "His Majesty the King has arrived." As soon as the king entered, Cheryl smelled blood. She had a fear of blood, and she immediately fainted. A long time later, Cheryl woke up. She didn't know where she was, and her brother Mikhail was nowhere in sight. A group of maids appeared and said gently, "Lady Cheryl, you're awake. You fainted earlier, and His Majesty brought you here. This is the private wing of Devonshire Manor prepared for the king. His Majesty went hunting this morning and brought back a black bear to treat the scholars. We didn't expect it would frighten you, but that bear was huge and terrifying. Only His Majesty could kill it so easily." The maids all had looks of adoration, but Cheryl was just scared. The thought of being in the pigs' quarters made her want to leave immediately. "Lady Cheryl, would you like to rest a bit longer? Your brother Mikhail said they'll be in the library until late. If you don't want to go..." Cheryl ignored them and ran to the library to find her brother. But when she saw how intensely Mikhail and the others were debating, she hesitated. "I shouldn't disturb him. Mikhail is shining right now, and nothing should interrupt that. I'll just go to the lounge." As it happened, the king had also come to the lounge. "Stop following me. Go do your work," he said to Dr. Davies. After the professor left, the king let out a sigh of relief and sat down right next to Cheryl, which made her freeze up. One of them looked aloof, the other looked awkward. They were the only two idle people in the entire manor. Just then, Cheryl's stomach rumbled and she blushed. She wanted to reach for some food, but she was too short. After hesitating, she finally walked up to the king. "I'd like that Black Forest cake." "Could you please get it for me?" The king was cold and didn't move. Cheryl spoke again, her voice steady. "I can't reach it, and you're the only adult here." After some persistent pestering, the king finally got the cake for her. Cheryl was delighted and said sweetly, "Thank you, Your Majesty." It was then that he realized Cheryl was completely different from his older sister. The two of them were getting along almost too well. A guard who walked in was shocked by the scene. "I'd also like a macaron, please. A strawberry one." The king obediently picked one up for her. The guard was stunned. His Majesty was getting cake for a child? And more importantly, Lady Cheryl had the nerve to ask him. Seeing the guard had come to find him, the king left. Cheryl was a little disappointed. "Your Majesty, Lady Cheryl has such a good personality. She doesn't hold a grudge at all. Last time, even I was a little upset," the guard said, and was immediately glared at by the king. The guard quickly corrected himself. "Your Majesty, I absolutely did not mean to imply anything about you. It's just that Lady Cheryl is very different. She seems very mature." "She's just a child, now to business." "Your Majesty, we've just received a secret letter from the Crown Prince of the Bornean Empire." "Have you brought him over? Have him come here first." Once Mikhail finished his work, he rushed to be with Cheryl. "I should have been by your side when you fainted. I failed as a brother. I was taken to the private wing on the king's orders. There was nothing you could do. It's not your fault, and I'm perfectly fine now. Even though I know it was an act of grace from His Majesty to have you taken to the private wing, I'm honestly not happy about it. The power of the crown took away a brother's right to be with his sister when she needed him. Our king truly has no concept of family. Mikhail, that sounds a little treasonous. I'm just speaking the truth. Are you going to defend him? I should hate that pig. He sent me away as a baby and forcibly separated me from my mother. But when I think about the small things he did for me, I actually feel happy. I'm so pathetic. What kind of father is he? I should block him from my life. This is for you. Thank you, brother. It's so pretty. The next day, Cheryl went out to play wearing the new hat, admiring her reflection in the water. Suddenly, an eagle swooped down to snatch her hat. After a struggle, the eagle only managed to get the flower on top. It flew back to its master, who grumbled, "You flirtatious bird, was that flower really so pretty?" Later, when Cheryl was by the window, that annoying eagle appeared again, taunting her as if to say, "What are you going to do about it? Darn you, you stupid bird. I'm going to catch you." She lunged and missed, finding herself right in front of the king. "Lady Cheryl, are you hoping to join His Majesty's convoy on the way back?" "Haha, yes, can I?" Cheryl was just joking, but she couldn't believe it when the pig actually let her ride in his carriage. And just like that, she was on her way home, while Mikhail was still stuck at Devonshire Manor working on the textbooks. How did things turn out this way? But she figured her mother and Arden probably missed her, and this way Mikhail could focus on his work without distractions. Hampton is getting more and more out of line, putting a child in my carriage. If you make any noise, I'll throw you out. Cheryl was distracted by the eagle outside. Who's in that other carriage? Someone important enough to travel with the king's convoy? I didn't hear about anyone else accompanying him at the manor. Mom! Dad, I'm here! Where are you? The king, seeing the child next to him had fallen asleep, couldn't help but watch her. He reached out and held her small hand. Suddenly, there was a loud bang. Assassins! Protect His Majesty! Cheryl was jolted awake just in time to see someone being killed. The king quickly covered her eyes. Don't look! A hissing sound came from outside, and a giant venomous snake appeared. The serpent attacked, causing widespread damage. Seeing the situation was dire, the king stepped forward and launched an attack. Mere insects, kill them all! A guard went to the other carriage and asked carefully, "Are you all right?" "I'm fine, you were well prepared. His Majesty has been preparing for this ever since he received the letter from Crown Prince Kale. Our elven kingdom may not be a large country, but we don't lack for talented mages. What about the child?" Lady Cheryl, are you all right?" "You're such a coward. It's over. You can open your eyes now." It was a child's voice. Cheryl opened her eyes and saw blood. The next second, she fainted. This freaked out the prince. "Whoa, what's going on?" "Lady Cheryl, she faints at the sight of blood." "Oh." The prince hesitated for a moment before gathering Cheryl into his arms. "Lady Cheryl, I'm returning to my duties now. Until next time." "Thank you, Your Majesty, and thank you, Hampton." "Mom, Dad, brothers, I'm home." "Cheryl, you're finally back. Life must have been so boring without your second brother around." "Look at you. You've gotten thinner." "Oh, I missed you so much." The third brother, Avery, scoffed from the side. "Could you be any more dramatic?" After returning home, Cheryl couldn't shake the feeling that besides the pig and Hampton, she had seen someone else that day. Was it the person from the other carriage? "Why do you smell of black magic?" Avery asked as soon as she walked in. "Dark magic? It must have been from that giant snake." But Cheryl decided to tease her brother. "Everyone who knows that secret is dead." That scared Avery so much he stumbled backward. Seeing his cute reaction made Cheryl laugh. "That's for always trying to scare me. Now we're even." Something about this Cheryl feels different. Meanwhile, in the king's chambers, His Majesty was changing clothes. Hampton reported, "The welcoming ceremony and banquet for the guest from the Bornean Empire are scheduled for next Wednesday. Her Majesty the Queen will not be able to attend." The king didn't say a word, but everyone in the room was terrified. After a long pause, he finally said softly, "Let her be." "Then who will you be escorting?" "No one. Without the Queen, can I not attend on my own? Since when does the Holy King require a female companion?" "Yes, Your Majesty. This is the guest list for the banquet. Please review it." "And he is also inviting people." "Yes, Cheryl's name was on the list. The little brat." The king changed his mind. "I'll take Lady Pamelia. Have her bring Princess Ilara to the welcoming banquet." At the Valyrias manor, Cheryl was writing a letter to Mikhail. "Dear Mikhail, you'll never guess how I got back to the manor. On the way, we ran into..." She paused. Her mind was a mess, and she wasn't sure if she should write about it. Tap, tap, there was a sound at the window, but when Cheryl looked, there was nothing there. Was I hearing things? I must be overthinking things. You're so slow. Why don't you look up? I'm not a creep, you know. What's with that look? I just came to apologize for making you faint last time. Forget it. I'll just talk to you at the banquet. At the banquet, Cheryl's grand entrance had everyone talking. Who is that? Why is she getting VIP treatment? Wow, even the Dukes didn't get special treatment today. I heard the main event tonight is welcoming the guest from the Bornean Empire. Do you think she could be their princess? Cheryl was speechless. These people have wild imaginations. His Majesty the King has arrived. With him was Princess Ilara, technically Theron's youngest daughter. I can't believe it. His Majesty brought Lady Pamelia. He's never escorted one of his consorts to an event like this before. I know, right? It looks like Lady Pamelia is finally getting her moment. There are only 2 consorts left in the harem, after all. What's going on? Where is the queen? I heard that to pray for the little prince, the queen has devoted herself to the gods and has gone to the divine spire. What? The queen is in the divine spire? A queen imprisoned in a holy tower serving the gods? She's not doing it for the little prince. He's not even her son. She's doing it for me, Mom. This is also the first time His Majesty has brought Princess Ilara out in public like this, right? I thought His Majesty only cared about the little prince. I guess that's not true. Father, Ilara would like to dance for you. As Ilara danced, Cheryl was in no mood to watch. She was slipping away when she bumped into the prince who had come to greet her. He said her name, and Cheryl was confused. Do you know me? The prince's heart broke. Are you an idiot? We were less than an inch apart last time, and now you're acting like you've never seen me before. You really are something else. Cheryl wasn't listening, her gaze fixed on Princess Ilara. The prince noticed. Are you jealous of her? Do all you girls have a princess dream? Being in the spotlight, endless beautiful dresses? Cheryl didn't answer, lost in thought. The prince stammered. Actually, being a princess in the Elven Kingdom isn't all that great. If you came back with me... Forget it, let's not talk about it. Let's start over. My name is Andy. Your Highness, are you here? His Majesty the King is waiting to introduce you to the guests. All right, I'm coming. I'll be right back. Who is this guy? Cheryl wondered. Are we supposed to be friends? Back in the ballroom, everyone was buzzing. So that's the young prince from the Bornean Empire. He's so handsome. Is he really the prince? Of course. Why else would he get this kind of treatment? The king's eyes darted around the room as if he were looking for someone. Hampton hurried to his side. Your Majesty, are you looking for... It's nothing. The king cut him off. But he found another way to ask. Are there no children here tonight? Andy and Ilara will need playmates for the masquerade ball later. Your Majesty, are you perhaps asking about Lady Cheryl? I miss her too. I saw her just a moment ago but didn't get a chance to say hello. I'll be sure to bring Prince Andy, Princess Ilara, and Lady Cheryl to the children's ball later. The king scowled, annoyed that his thoughts had been so easily read. It was time for the masquerade ball. In the royal court, this was a tradition meant to dissolve the boundaries of rank, a time for everyone to interact with love and sincerity, and to have fun without restraint. Even the children were no exception. The history books never mentioned Cheryl meeting the queen, so her mother must have already entered the divine spire in her original life. Is there any way to get into the spire and see her? Lost in thought, Cheryl accidentally bumped into Princess Ilara, knocking her over. I'm so sorry, are you okay? You hurt me, so as an apology, you can go change into a servant's dress. We're about the same size, and we're both wearing masks. What if someone mistakes you for me? Cheryl, who had felt guilty a second ago, was now furious. What are you talking about? How about you bump into me and you can go change into the queen's robes? I think I'd be pretty upset if someone mistook you for me, too. You... The two girls glared at each other, neither willing to back down. Hey, I've been looking all over for you. This is for you. Cheryl grinned mischievously. Do you know who I am? Princess Ilara pushed Cheryl aside. Andy, my dear brother, you were looking for me, weren't you? She preened, certain he had mistaken the other girl for her. How could a nobleman from the Bornean Empire give a flower crown to her? Andy, may I have a flower crown too? Andy looked confused. And you are? Ilara took off her mask and asked again, her eyes welling with tears. Andy stumbled back, panicked. Hey, don't cry! Cheryl rolled her eyes. Ugh, what a classic clueless guy. All right, stop pretending, Cheryl said, handing the crown to Ilara. Here, I didn't really want it anyway. What did you say? Nothing, don't worry about it. As Cheryl walked away, Andy rushed after her. Wait, Cheryl, that flower crown is an elven thing. Let me give you this instead. Why would you give it to me? No, thank you. Behind them, Alara watched, fuming. Just then, Lady Pamelia walked over. Alara, what's wrong? Alara put on a pathetic, wronged expression. Lady Pamelia's voice turned to ice. Who bullied you? No one. No one bullied me. Cheryl was still refusing the gift, and Andy still didn't understand why he was so insistent. Idiot, there is no why. It's yours now, and if you dare refuse it, I'll just throw it away. He forcefully placed the bracelet on her wrist. Fine, you're such a moody kid. How old are you anyway? My lady, please come this way. A guest is asking for you. Who is it? What do they want? The next second, someone grabbed Cheryl and clamped a hand over her mouth. No, this can't be happening. I have to do something. That's it, Fireball. She launched the spell. The attacker didn't have time to react, and Cheryl broke free. I was just going to teach you a lesson, but I didn't expect you to fight back. In that case, sorry, time to die. It's over, I can't block it. Just in the nick of time, Andy appeared and saved her. Are you okay? I'm fine. Are you hurt? Just a scratch. You stay right here and don't move. A human puppet? Soul sacrifice magic? Interesting. Who are you to be using my Bornean Empire's forbidden arts? Andy attacked, forcing the puppet back. He refused to let it escape and gave chase. Soon, a group of people rushed over, drawn by the noise. Lady Pamelia sounded annoyed. What's going on? What's all the shouting for? Cheryl said anxiously. There was a monster. Andy chased after it. He's in danger. What are you talking about? How could there be a monster in the palace? Guards, take her away. She doesn't believe me. What do I do? Just then, the king arrived. Cheryl felt a surge of fear. No one believes me. That pig probably won't believe me either. Is something going to happen to Andy? To her surprise, the king gently stroked her head and asked softly, What did you see? Everyone around them was stunned. They had never seen His Majesty be so gentle. Were you scared? What kind of monster was it? It looked like a servant at first, but then it turned into a horrible monster. Andy said it was a human puppet. They ran in that direction. Your Majesty, please, you have to save Andy. Hearing her words, the king immediately sent his men to find Andy. Andy saved me from the monster and chased after it. Is the monster strong? Will he be okay? He'll be fine. Get some rest. The human puppet is a secret art from the Bornean Empire. We detected 4 types of magical energy at the scene. Besides Andy and the puppet, there was also a fireball spell. In that case, the fireball must have been Cheryl's. This might not be so simple. Crown Prince Kale has likely opened a teleportation gate and will be here in person tonight. Cheryl was still on edge. As she was walking, she saw Andy returning. Thank goodness you're okay. But Andy acted strangely, turning away from her. Don't touch me. Andy, what's wrong? He saw the bracelet on her wrist and his voice was cold as ice. Where did you get that? He would never give this to anyone. You're a thief. You stole my things. You're being ridiculous, and here I was worried about you. Of course I'm fine. You just wait. We'll settle this later. That jerk? Fine, I'm not giving it back. See how you like it. Distracted, Cheryl bumped into someone else as she walked away. Who are you? What are you doing here? It was the prince of the Elven Kingdom, Xaden, the queen's official son. Cheryl recognized him instantly. He was the one who had taken her place, the queen's child. Hey, are you deaf? I'm talking to you. Who I am is none of your business. Let go of me. Are you looking to die? No one has ever dared to talk to me like that. Ow, you actually hit me. You, the person who stole my mother, how dare you treat me like this? Neither of them would back down, and they started to fight. But Xaden was stronger and grabbed her viciously. Cheryl struggled, and in the process, she accidentally scratched him. Seeing the prince was hurt, all the maids panicked. Lady Pamelia rushed over and immediately started shouting. Harming the heir to the throne is a capital offense. Guards, seize this brat. The guards swarmed in to grab Cheryl. She fought back, but it was no use. Lady Pamelia stared at her with disgust, as if she were looking at an insect, even seeming to wish Cheryl would just die. Take her away! Let His Majesty decide her fate. At that moment, the king was receiving a delegation from the Bornean Empire. A secret art from my empire has appeared in your kingdom. I suspect a traitor within your ranks is colluding with my enemies. What are your intentions, Your Majesty? You're right. The most important thing now is to ensure your safety. As for the traitors, your father and I will discuss how to deal with them. Is my father coming? The prince asked, his face lighting up. The king nodded and ordered the grand teleportation gate to be opened. As the gate activated, the first heir to the Bornean Empire, Crown Prince Kale, appeared in the palace. It's been a long time, Theron. My worthless son has caused you trouble. Father, I think you're the one causing me trouble. You haven't even inherited the throne yet, and your son almost got himself killed. You brat, what are you saying? Just then, a servant came to report to the king about Prince Xaden. In the council hall, Lady Pamelia was weeping dramatically while Crown Prince Kale watched with the air of someone enjoying a good show. Your Majesty, I failed to protect the prince. I have failed the trust of you and the queen. I deserve to die for letting Prince Xaden be harmed. What happened? Xaden, you're this old and you can't even win a fight against a girl? She scratched me with her nails when I wasn't looking. Cheryl replied calmly, You pulled my hair first. You have a death wish. According to the laws of the Elven Kingdom, you've harmed the prince. That's a capital offense. You're about to lose your head and you're still arguing? I only scratched your face, but you want me dead. You're not worthy of being the queen's son. Her Majesty is praying for the people, confined to the divine spire, and you? How are you fit to be her child? Even if you become king, a person like you will never deserve respect. This girl is interesting, Kale interjected. It seems not all the women in your kingdom are delicate flowers. Since your law says she should be executed, why not let her become a woman of my Bornean Empire instead? What is he talking about, and who is he? Let this little girl be my daughter-in-law. What do you think, Theron? The Bornean Empire was a power the Elven Kingdom wanted to ally with. A marriage alliance that would secure generations of friendship was a rare opportunity. If Cheryl could be the bridge for this alliance, she would be a hero to the kingdom, and the matter of scratching the air would be forgotten. Don't think you can just say whatever you want because we're friends. Crown Prince Kyle, a man of your stature wouldn't joke about such things, would he? Kyle, you're overstepping. You're still just the Crown Prince. You really think so? You don't believe in my power? They're talking about my life as if I'm not even here. Is this just how it is when you're powerless? Cheryl asked defiantly. So becoming a bride for the Bornean Empire is my only way to survive? A marriage with that thief? It better not be me, Andy muttered, quickly pulling back just as Cheryl was about to look at him. Who, she didn't see me? Back in Theron's chambers, his mind was racing with images of Cheryl, wondering what Kale was really up to. Kale spoke again. I'm talking about the marriage alliance. Can you please pay attention? You understood what I meant today, right? I'm the Crown Prince, not officially the ruler of the Empire yet. My father is old and easily manipulated by those around him. This rebellion is widespread, and my only concern is for the children. The situation in the Empire is chaotic. Until the rebellion is quashed, I can't bring them back. The only legitimate way for them to stay in the Elven Kingdom long-term is through a marriage alliance. As long as I'm not on the throne, there are too many uncertainties. I have plenty of princesses. Why did you choose a commoner? Protective, are we? I saw you didn't object. I was just saving her life. Don't give me that. Let's drop it. I have news for you about her. An eagle was closing in on its target, while a figure followed stealthily behind. Cheryl had already been sent back to the manor. On the way, Hampton chattered endlessly. Lady Cheryl, that whole ordeal at the palace was so exciting. I heard you're about to become a princess of the Bornean Empire. What wonderful news. I bet there will be a royal proclamation and a nationwide celebration soon. Ha ha. At that moment, the eagle arrived at its destination, preening as if expecting a reward. It didn't realize it was supposed to go to the palace, not here, to Cheryl's home. Back at the manor, Cheryl felt like she was being watched. She looked back, but there was nothing there. It must be my imagination. Father! Mother! Brother! Her family rushed out to greet her, overjoyed. Catherine! Arden! I'm back! The prince, hidden in the shadows, saw it was Cheryl. Now he understood why that flirtatious eagle had flown here. That night, as Cheryl was about to go to sleep, her candle suddenly went out and a hand covered her mouth. She was about to fight back when Andy revealed himself. What are you doing? Trying to scare me again? It's the middle of the night. Are you crazy? She pushed him, and because of his injury, he stumbled and fell to the floor, clutching his wound and shivering. Cheryl realized it was the wound from their fight. He risked his life to save me. Was he cold to me before just because we were in front of people? She asked with concern. Are you okay? I'm fine. I was a bit reckless, almost messed up. But see, I'm alive and kicking. Seeing Bornean's secret arts in the Elven Palace, I thought I could catch the person right away, but I didn't expect a monster of that level. By the way, I'm starving. Got any food? It was late, and after a long search, Cheryl only found a few scraps. Andy didn't care what it was and started stuffing his face. He asked her to contact the king for him or get him a carriage. Slow down, I can ask Baron Valyrias. He might be able to help, I'm just a kid. No, you can't tell anyone. My location has to be a secret. I can't trust anyone easily. I only trust you, Cheryl. Cheryl, who are you talking to? Hearing someone approach, they both tensed up. Who is he? Avery had found them. Aha, Cheryl, you brought a strange man into the house. I'm telling Mom and Dad. The next second, a hand clamped over his mouth. You're so loud. Who are you going to tell? Avery trembled. He could feel the presence of dark magic. When did Cheryl get involved with this dangerous person? Wait, she was always a witch. Andy, don't hurt him. He's my brother. If he tells anyone where I am, I'm in big trouble. You elves don't play fair. I'm not taking any chances. But for Cheryl's sake, he let him go with a warning. You know what happens if you mess with me, right? If you know what's good for you, keep your mouth shut. Avery sat on the floor, stunned. That power, is he a demon? He scrambled to his feet and ran away. Cough, cough. Andy coughed up blood. I had to use a forbidden power to warn that kid. This is a problem. I think I've caused you trouble. I have to go. No, your wound! But Andy didn't listen and jumped out the window. The next morning, Avery was still thinking about what had happened. He decided he had to tell his parents and ran to their door. Father, Mother, I have something important to tell you. Cheryl brought a strange man home. He pushed open the door and froze. The strange man was having tea with his father and Cheryl. Andy greeted him as if they'd never met. Hello there. Furious, Avery was about to point him out, when Cheryl quickly intervened, saying sweetly, Brother, come and sit down, while secretly taunting him. Didn't expect this, did you, Avery? It turned out that after Andy had left the night before, Cheryl had found him and convinced him to trust her, that Baron Valyrias and Lady Catherine were good people. In the end, Andy agreed to meet them. Baron Valyrias, I am Andy Nausielian. I hope you can help me contact the palace as soon as possible. Andy Nausielian? He's from the Bornean royal family? This must be serious. I will contact the palace for you at once. Seeing his father being so accommodating, Avery was helpless and sat down with a huff. Cheryl, ignoring Avery's mood, asked Andy with concern, Is your wound serious? Should I ask the Baron to get a doctor for you? No need. This is a wound from a forbidden magic. A normal doctor can't treat it. But it's okay. Once I get back to the palace, King Theron should have a way. Just then, their second brother, Arden, came in. Seeing a strange man, he got jealous. Cheryl, don't you like me anymore? Cheryl pulled Andy over. Arden, this is Andy, my good friend. Andy confidently extended his hand. Hello, Arden. Arden started to pout. Cheryl, you have a new friend now. You don't want me anymore. I heard he was even injured while helping you, the Baroness said. I'm so glad you've made such a true friend, Cheryl. Really? Then will you agree to let Cheryl come back to the Bornean Empire with me? Baron Valyrias looked confused. Back to the Bornean Empire? At that moment, Mikhail returned. He had brought gifts for everyone. Cheryl was thrilled to see him and ran to him. Mikhail, you're back. Dr. Davies' letter said you'd be gone for half a month. I missed you all, so I came back early. Andy came out to greet him, but Mikhail just gave him a disdainful look. Back in the living room, Cheryl asked about Dr. Davies. Mikhail said, He praises you often. He's very pleased with your proposal for compulsory education. On this trip, he even entrusted me with an audience with the king to push the Public Education Act through the council. He can't wait to build schools for commoners in all the major cities. But it's been so long, and it still hasn't passed. That's wonderful. Then everyone will be able to get an education. Dr. Davies is doing something great. All the people of the Elven Kingdom will be grateful to him in the future. Behind her, Andy watched her quietly. He had never seen her like this. At first, it was just that his eagle thought she was pretty, and maybe he did too. Then, seeing her look so down, he felt an urge to protect her. But that was just for an ordinary little girl. He never imagined she would be discussing such profound topics that he could barely understand with her almost adult brother. I don't get what they're talking about at all, but it makes me want to understand even more. He didn't snap out of it until Cheryl called his name. Andy, what's basic education like in the Bornean Empire? Andy was stumped. What is that? I've never heard of it. Mikhail also asked about Andy's grades. How are you doing in school? Do you get straight A's? Avery popped up from the side to mock him. You're not illiterate, are you? Hearing this, Arden started to whine again, taking it personally. I knew you looked down on me. Mikhail quickly reassured him. It's all right. Once the city schools are built, you can go and study hard. What's the use of crying about it now? Mikhail, let me introduce you. This is Andy, a friend I made at the palace. He helped me out last time. Mikhail's focus sharpened. Were you bullied at the palace, Cheryl? No, it was just a small misunderstanding. Don't worry, brother. This only made Mikhail more concerned. Cheryl had clearly been through something. He then noticed her hand was intertwined with Andy's and neatly separated them. Avery started tattling again. Big brother, this guy is bad news. He has the aura of black magic on him. And Cheryl had it on her last time too. What's their secret? Nonsense, the black magic aura is because I was attacked. You're not imagining me as some dark mage, are you? My name is Andy. I am definitely not some dark mage who can't see the light of day. I came from the Bornean Empire at the invitation of the Elven King. I heard a rebellion broke out in the Bornean Empire and hasn't been suppressed for months. You were sent to the Elven Kingdom by Crown Prince Kyle, weren't you? I also heard King Theron is eager to help the Crown Prince quell the rebellion to form a 100-year alliance between our two nations. How does he know all this? Is this what it means to be a top student? Suddenly, a detection spell swept over them. Don't worry, it's the High Priest from the King's Court. In the entire Elven Kingdom, only he can control magical energy over such a wide area. Sure enough, the next moment, the High Priest appeared and said respectfully, Your Highness, it is time to return to the palace. The entire manor came out to see Andy off. Cheryl was still worried about his injury. I hope he'll be okay. Goodbye, Andy. Take care. Your Highness? He's not a prince, is he? Only the eldest brother understood. He's a prince of the Bornean Empire. It seems he's the son of Crown Prince Kale. Once they were in the carriage, the High Priest spoke. Your Highness, are you planning to endure it like this for much longer? Andy coughed up a mouthful of blood. One must maintain a certain decorum in front of a lady. But your escape skills are quite impressive. After we got word of your location, it still took us a full day to find you. Escape skills? That's nothing to be proud of. The High Priest's eyes twinkled with gossip. Are you close with the people at that manor? I saw a little one there who seemed to have a good talent for magic. Who are you talking about? Wow, your judgment is really off. What? You didn't get along? After the guests had left, Mikhail turned to Cheryl. Actually, there's another main reason I came back early. I heard the Bornean Empire is interested in a marriage alliance with us, and that Crown Prince Kale personally chose the bride. They say the one they chose is you. It seems so. A lot happened at the palace, didn't it, Cheryl? Cheryl was troubled, not understanding why this proposal had come up so suddenly. So you went through all those terrible things. You must have been so scared. I'm not scared anymore, because I'm home now. Although I don't know why Crown Prince Kale chose you, Cheryl, his request is clear. He wants our Elven Kingdom to help him quell his rebellion. The peace it would bring would also allow his country to recover after the civil unrest. It's a win-win for both nations. But Cheryl, I'm really worried. Can you live in a foreign land, marry someone you don't know, and become a political pawn? Cheryl isn't the king's child. There should be a way out of this, after all. The king has 6 other princesses. I will request an audience with the king and cancel this absurd proposal. Brother, that's very dangerous. Please don't do it. Although it's unpleasant to have my life decided by others, I don't hate this idea that much. What my brother doesn't know is that leaving the Elven Kingdom might be my only way to survive. Otherwise, if my identity is exposed, death may be the only outcome. Is the person you're marrying Andy? I don't know. Crown Prince Kale didn't say. Is it because it might be Andy that you don't hate it so much? No, of course not. Why would you think that, Mikhail? Andy is just a kid. That little... in the palace? What marriage? I refuse. What have you all been doing while I was gone? You're not making any sense. Son, calm down and listen to me. Why do I have to marry an elven princess? Has our Bornean Empire fallen so low? Didn't you always say that the men of the Nasialian line must be strong and independent? As a prince, am I now supposed to sell my body? Andy, haven't you faced reality yet? And what's this about selling your body? You've been cursed by a forbidden puppet art. Those people are capable of anything. I must have you stay in the Elven Kingdom legitimately until the rebellion is over. Since you made this decision without me, then let Evan get married. It doesn't have to be me. You're the older brother. The heir is you, not me. Shouldn't you be the one to marry her? What are you talking about? I was only born 1 minute before you. From birth, they had been shrouded in a curse. In the treacherous Bornean royal court, eyes eager to take their lives lurked everywhere. To ensure at least one child survived, they had pretended to be one person for years. Evan thought for a moment. If I have to marry her, I suppose I could. What's in it for me? What do you want? Anything, then you can be my dog. I'm gonna kill you. What are you two brats talking about? This is a serious matter, not a game. King Theron has already agreed. It will be announced to the world soon. This is a matter of foreign policy. Fulfill your duties as princes. I don't care. I will die before I marry an elven princess. In the Grand Hall, Cheryl and her family were having an audience with the king. Stephen Valyrias, I hear that during the reign of the previous king, your family was quite prominent. Though you've declined, you still have noble blood. I have summoned you today to announce something important. Your daughter has found favor with Crown Prince Cale of the Bornean Empire. He wishes for her to be named a princess of the Elven Kingdom and marry his son. What? The Baron and Baroness trembled in fear. Cheryl squeezed her father's hand. It's okay, father. Don't be afraid. Considering Cheryl is still young and would be far from home, if you are unwilling, I will consider discussing it further with Kyle. So, it's come to this. It would be a lie to say I'm not scared. I have to think this through. Is marrying into the Bornean Empire really good for my future? Although contact with Theron in the beginning will inevitably increase the risk, once I'm married and far away in the Bornean Empire, I'll be completely free from this mess. My future will change and that tragic end will no longer exist. No, Your Majesty. Cheryl is willing. Cheryl is willing to marry into the Bornean Empire for the sake of peace between our two nations. Since that was her decision, the king had nothing more to say. The two brothers saw Cheryl from a distance. Evan deliberately asked, Does she know you're the one she's marrying? Shut up. On the streets, people were gossiping. Did you hear? The king is going to name a new princess for a marriage alliance with the Bornean Empire. The rich and powerful Bornean Empire. If they become our allies, it would be a huge benefit. I heard the Crown Prince of Bornea personally chose her. Who is the lucky girl? Everyone was happy except for the Baron and Baroness. I'm fine, father, don't worry. The Baron was terrified. Once she was named a princess for the marriage, Cheryl would have to live in the palace. He couldn't bear to part with her, but more importantly, the palace was too dangerous. If Cheryl's true identity was exposed, it would be treason. Father, can we talk? Are you worried about me marrying into the Bornean Empire? Or are you worried I won't learn the court etiquette properly and will commit some grave offense? I'm worried too about what to do if I can't handle it, if I'm not good enough for the Bornean Empire. But I don't think it's right to not even try just because you're afraid of making mistakes. I want to be a great person. I know you and Mother just want me to be healthy and safe, but I want to be someone you can be proud of. When did Cheryl become so mature? She's already grown up. He was right. Cheryl couldn't hide forever. The Queen would want to see her living a healthy, bright life too. He had to be strong as well, face the difficulties, and hope that one day he could seek justice for the Queen and for Princess Cheryl. Father, actually, I made a mistake at the palace last time. It was Crown Prince Cale who saved me. I think he likes me. He won't let me be mistreated. Please don't worry. I'll be fine. A few days later, she was officially named Princess Cheryl. It was proclaimed throughout the land that upon reaching adulthood, she would marry into the Bornean Empire to bless the Elven Kingdom. Princess Cheryl will bring 100 years of peace to the Elven Kingdom! After the ceremony, Princess Cheryl and the Bornean Crown Prince's heir were supposed to hold a meeting to officially announce their engagement. However, the ceremony was delayed, and to everyone's shock, the Bornean prince was a no-show. The crowd erupted in whispers. Did he run away from the marriage? Everyone was talking, leaving Cheryl standing there alone and embarrassed. Meanwhile, in a corner of the palace. Evan, help me out this one time. I'll repay you later. Who wants to marry this princess? The eagle squawked. Right? Evan was speechless. My brother is such an idiot, he doesn't even know who he's supposed to marry. If I actually married that girl, would he lose his mind? That might be interesting. In the banquet hall? Did the Bornean Empire break the agreement? Prince Andy is usually so easygoing. I never thought he'd be so decisive. Well, the Nausialian family. Why would they be satisfied with a marriage to a common girl? But wasn't she personally chosen by the crown prince? This is a huge embarrassment for His Majesty the King. Andy, I'm supposed to marry Andy? I thought he didn't dislike me, but I guess he can't accept me as a wife. I'm already Theron's publicly declared Princess Cherie. If I can't go to the Bornean Empire, I'll be trapped in this mess for good. Just then, the king rushed over, visibly angry. Cheryl was scared, afraid she would be blamed. But to her surprise, the king scooped her up into his arms. Kale, give me an explanation. Where is Andy? Does the House of Nausialian look down on my elven kingdom? A misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. My son was suddenly struck with a terrible illness and couldn't attend the ceremony. The king's eyes were murderous. Cheryl realized, is he protecting me? Your Majesty. Still calling me Your Majesty? Father. Why am I blushing, she thought. He's not a good person at all. Crown Prince Kale quickly smoothed things over. Cherie, my dear daughter-in-law, you're not angry, are you? If you don't resolve this, I'm not taking care of your son anymore. Kale returned to his temporary residence, absolutely furious. That damn brat Andy, is he trying to kill me? Where's Evan? I'll just have Evan take his place for the ceremony. His Highness Evan is also missing. Those two rebels. Find them. The search for Prince Andy and Prince Evan began. Right now, they were hiding on a rooftop using an invisibility ring. If I marry that princess, Evan thought, my brother will never speak to me again. In Theron's office. So, in the end, you couldn't even control your own son and brought this humiliation upon my royal house. Both engagement princes running away. Is this a joke? Just ignore that little brat, can't you? As long as we exchange the official documents, Cherie is my daughter-in-law. You want my daughter to be engaged to your son without even a proper ceremony? This is how it is at the engagement. If they get married, are you planning to let him bully my daughter? Thinking that because she's far away in the Bornean Empire, I won't know, so you can do whatever you want? I told you it was an emergency. Do you think I'm dead? The men of my Nausialian family do not bully women. I won't acknowledge this engagement unless Andy accepts it willingly. Then we can discuss the proper procedures, but I have to return to my country soon. There's no time. Non-negotiable. Why does he act like he cares so much about me? It's just a political marriage. As long as the documents are exchanged and we get the protection of the Bornean Empire, that should be enough. Why is Theron being so stubborn about this? I must be misunderstanding something. He can't be this kind. In the princess's bedroom, maids were bustling about. Is this the dowry from the Bornean Empire? No, these are gifts from His Majesty the King to the princess. Your Highness, you are now His Majesty's 7th princess. From now on, you will live in the palace. Starting tomorrow, we will begin your lessons in court etiquette. Your Highness, I am the Countess Miller, your etiquette tutor. Let's begin with the proper way to greet His Majesty the King. Cheryl was a quick study and learned it in no time. The next time she had an audience with the king, she performed the greeting perfectly. The king was as cold as ever. Cheryl, I'd like you to meet Lady Pamelia. You and Alara are of a similar age. From now on, you will be under her care. Perhaps you and Alara can get along. Theron's harem wasn't large. It was well known that the king disliked women and had little interest in them. Besides the queen, there were very few consorts with official titles. With the queen now living in the Divine Spire, there were only 2 women left in the harem, and Lady Pamelia was one of them. The palace has tutors and a nursery. One child won't be much trouble for you. But the palace has a strict hierarchy, and a child still needs a mother. You will fulfill that role. Lady Pamelia agreed on the surface, but she was seething inside. The king summons me personally just to give me this task? To be a mother? What is this? What's going on with this girl? No, it's not just about the marriage alliance. From now on, she will be your mother in the palace. Cheryl just looked at her without a word. Theron then gently pinched Cheryl's cheek. Lady Pamelia was surprised. Why does this child have Theron's favor? But she quickly changed her expression to a motherly one. 7th princess. From now on, if you need anything in the palace, just let me know. Think of me as your mother. Cheryl didn't understand. This person was so vicious before, like she wanted to kill me, and now she's so gentle. She's a total opportunist. I need to be careful. Let me introduce you to a new friend. Alara, your father has arranged a playmate for you. Her name is Cheryl. You two get along now." The two girls looked at each other. It was clear Alara didn't recognize her. "Are you here to play with me? I am the newly appointed 7th princess. His Majesty has placed me under the care of Lady Pamelia. Lady Pamelia is my mother, so that means we're best friends now. You're the 7th princess. Are you younger than me? But can I be the little sister? I'm always the little sister. You'll take care of me, right, Sister Cheryl?" Ugh, what is with this girl? Why does she like being the little sister so much? "Sister Cheryl, are you going to live with me? I can give you my room. And you can have all of these things too. You've never seen such pretty dresses, have you? I have my own room. Lady Miller said a princess cannot casually use another's space or belongings, so I shouldn't live with you." "Who's Lady Miller? Is she more important than your best friend? Don't you like me? I'll ask Lady Miller." This girl is such a drama queen. After Alara's pleading, Lady Miller agreed that Cheryl could temporarily stay in Alara's room to foster their sisterly bond. But while Alara said she was giving her the room, she actually made Cheryl sleep on the small servant's cot. And she had the nerve to say, "You can actually sleep on that? I could never stand it. I like my big, soft bed. This is great. We can chat as we fall asleep." Seriously? I'm just letting it slide for now. Suddenly, the glass marble Alara was playing with dropped with a thud. Cheryl opened her eyes, annoyed. "Oh, sister, I dropped my marble. Can you get it for me?" Why are you playing with marbles in bed? Are you a dog?" Cheryl fumbled under the bed for a while and finally found the marble. "Thanks, sister, you're the best." Cheryl sighed. "This girl is treating me like a servant. Whatever, I'm new to the palace, I don't want to cause trouble." The next day, looking at a room full of beautiful clothes, Cheryl was skeptical. Is this little drama queen really letting me wear all of this? But even though Alara said her wardrobe was open to her, the maids only dared to bring out the dresses Alara didn't like. "I knew it, but I don't really care. Do you like these clothes, sister? Come play a game with me." In the back garden during their game, Cheryl accidentally slapped Alara. The king, hearing the commotion, rushed over. Alara was crying while Cheryl said nothing. "What happened? What did you two do?" I didn't mean to cry, it hurts." Alara sobbed, peeking at the king's reaction. 10 minutes earlier, they had been playing a game. Alara's hand slipped and her glass marble fell into the water. "Sister, it fell. Get it for me." "It fell into the mud. I can't get it. It's too dangerous." "You always get it for me. Don't you like me anymore?" "No, I can't get it this time. You'll get hurt." "I want my ball. Get it for me." The child was throwing a tantrum. Cheryl turned to leave. Alara grabbed her hair, refusing to let go. "You're my best friend. You have to get it for me." In the ensuing struggle, Alara tried to push her into the water. And that's when Cheryl slapped her. Theron looked at Cheryl. "Why aren't you saying anything?" Alara, seeing the look on the king's face, smirked. "Father, it hurts. Take Alara and treat the wound on her face." Seeing Theron's blank expression, Cheryl was scared. But he just patted her head. "What? You think staying silent will get you what you want? If you don't explain, aren't you afraid I'll punish you? You're really not going to defend yourself? A person should always fight for their own best interests, shouldn't they? The way you are now, so lost and hesitant, how are you going to survive in the Bornean palace? Are you just going to let people bully you?" "No, it's just, would you even listen to my explanation? I saw everything. And besides, I am your father. Of course I'm willing to listen to my daughter's explanation. You can tell me anything, and you can make reasonable requests." Cheryl was surprised he would say that. Theron pulled her into an embrace, and tears streamed down her face. "Are you crying? Tears can be a tool to gain sympathy. But crying is only useful in front of your father. Don't think showing weakness is the answer to everything. In front of others, you must be strong and brave. You must not let anyone bully you, even if you have to resort to any means necessary. Otherwise, I can't send you to the Bornean Empire with peace of mind." Cheryl was so moved she hugged him and cried even harder. Afterward, even knowing Theron was only being kind to her because of the marriage alliance, she couldn't help but feel attached to a father like this. "I wish I had never read the history books, never known the truth. I want to embrace his love without a second thought, even if it's self-deception, even if it leads to ruin." But reality quickly pulled her back. "You hit me and you dare to come back? How did father punish you? You think I'll forgive you just because you look so pathetic? You actually hit me. I will never forgive you. Don't even think about sleeping in the same room as me." With that, she slammed the door. Cheryl stood alone in the vast hall. She wandered aimlessly until she found herself in a dark, creepy place filled with strange noises. She remembered the rumors about Theron's harem, that the deep palace held terrible secrets. Why were Theron's children born to different consorts, yet there were only 2 in the palace? The others had simply vanished. She pushed open a door, wanting to see what was inside, but was quickly stopped. This is a forbidden area. The 7th princess is not allowed to enter. Please do not come here again. Let's go back. She still wanted to know what was behind the door, why it was forbidden. All right, it's late. Rest now and don't wander around. Defeated, Cheryl had to go back to bed. But as soon as she was gone, her eyes snapped open again. She had to know what secret that place held. Theron, are you a gentle father or a bloodthirsty demon? The next day, Cheryl was wandering around, looking for the door from the previous night. Instead, she ran into Andy, who was actually Evan. Andy, I thought you'd apologize when you saw me again. Running away from our engagement caused me a lot of trouble. I thought you'd be happy if I called it off. Don't tell me you actually want to marry me. You're being childish. This alliance is a choice made by 2 countries for their mutual benefit. It has nothing to do with whether I want to marry you or not. So for you, it doesn't matter who you marry? You can interpret it that way if you want. Something's off about this Andy. He's different. You're interesting, but poor big brother. Cheryl, what are you 2 doing together? It was Alara. You hit me yesterday and now you're playing with someone else. You're ignoring me. He's the one ignoring me. Stop being so unreasonable. I get it. You're getting married because you're being bullied here, so you can't wait to leave, right? What's it to you? Mind your own business. If you beg me, I might be willing to help you. The 2 of them were talking back and forth, completely ignoring Alara. Ugh, they're ignoring me. Meanwhile, in Lady Pamelia's chambers, she was frantically searching for her lustrous pearl. Speak, who saw it? Alara remembered the pearl she had dropped in the water and her mother's anger. Alara, did you take the lustrous pearl? To avoid punishment, Alara lied and blamed Cheryl. She took it. I didn't lose the lustrous pearl. I don't even know what that is. It's all right. I'll just have a little look inside your mind, and then I'll know if you're telling the truth. The Earth Truth Beast was a divine creature summoned by magic. It fed on human dreams and was attuned to a person's consciousness. Once it entered your body, you had no secrets. This is the Earth Truth Beast Mikhail told me about. If it gets me, my identity will be exposed. Absolutely not. Cheryl, get it! Your Highness, you can't go that way. It's a forbidden area. Stop. Cheryl ran and ran until she saw that door again. Her foot slipped and she fell through it. A voice echoed from inside and all the maids dropped to their knees in terror. The door slammed shut on its own, leaving Cheryl alone and terrified. It was completely silent. Then the king walked out. No one has come in here for a long time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. They were chasing me and I was scared, so I ran in here. So this was what was behind the door. The so-called forbidden area was a place Theron didn't allow anyone to enter. It was a memorial room for the previous king. These portraits must be of his family. His eyes are so sad, like he's telling a story of loneliness. It looks like you've gotten yourself into trouble. They said I took the lustrous pearl, but I didn't. Is that so? The voice sounded skeptical. It really wasn't me. Everyone knows the lustrous pearl was a gift from you to Lady Pamelia. Even if I took it, I just have to hide it. It's useless to me. Besides, I'm too young to need it. Maybe you were just curious and took it to play with. I'm not interested in such frivolous things. You're just like her, so sharp-tongued. Her? You mean the previous king, your older sister? I'm nothing like her. You're not supposed to like her, are you? No one is allowed in this room, yet you stand here alone with them. The edges of this portrait next to you are worn, which means you miss her. You can't help but touch it. But this other painting, it's in a more prominent spot, yet it's covered in dust, meaning you rarely even look at it. She must have been a terrible person. Just because I hate someone, does that make them a terrible person? Yes, because, Father, you're actually a gentle person. I have people I hate too. I'll keep your secret. I won't tell anyone. Theron took her hand. You said before you wanted to study, right? Yes. Will you let me go to school? Not outside the palace. You can study here. You're not interested in frivolous things, are you? Study hard so you don't get into trouble all the time. A month later, Cheryl enrolled in the Royal Primary School. The school didn't have separate classes. Instead, it used a system of elective courses and final exams, with both small and large group lessons. The best students were also tutored by the most important teachers. The moment she walked in, she saw that annoying prince surrounded by a crowd of fawning students. The Royal Primary School was originally a place for royal children and their companions. After the council passed Dr. Davies's bill and secular schools were established throughout the land, the royal school also began to admit children recommended by nobles and scholars, becoming a model for the new secular schools. It was said that because Prince Xaden liked a lively atmosphere, the king decided to expand enrollment. No matter what, this is a huge step forward. Now, nobles and even commoners have a chance to study alongside the royal family. Xaden signaled for everyone to ignore Cheryl, and they all walked away. From a distance, someone was watching them. While everyone else was in school, Alara was at home crying. "Mother, I want my dolls. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to be with all those strangers." Lady Pamelia didn't understand. "What is all this?" A maid explained. "The Public Education Act passed, so all children must attend compulsory education, especially royalty and nobility. But Princess Alara went to the school and didn't like it." "I know that, but why did the king suddenly have such a change of heart? He always disliked girls studying or discussing state affairs. I don't know what got into him." "Perhaps something prompted it," said Lady Rosalind. Alara was still refusing to go to school, locking herself in her room. Meanwhile, Theron was asking, "Have all 7 princesses started school?" "Your Majesty, you've never been a fan of women studying. I heard that in the harem, only the 1st and 4th princesses are talented and study the classics. The other princesses just want to be proper ladies. It seems you've changed, Your Majesty. You're a little different." "Shut your mouth. Don't speak such nonsense again." "Your Majesty, I have a personal request. I heard Dr. Davies will be teaching at the Royal Primary School himself. My 2 unworthy sons, I wonder if they might have the honor of attending." Before he could finish, another person arrived. "Your territory is 1,000,000 miles from the capital, and you want to send your children here to study? What are you thinking?" "Your Majesty, my son is 8 this year, the perfect age." And so more and more people came. "My son, my grandson, my humble son." The king had a massive headache, but to everyone's surprise, he agreed to all of them. Even Cheryl was shocked when she heard. When did the king become so easygoing? He said there would be a unified selection process, and anyone who passed could attend. "That means my brothers have a chance to get into the Royal Primary School." "I have to tell Mikhail." Mikhail received the letter and told his 2 younger brothers, "You both need to prepare for the royal selection exam. If you pass, you can go to school with Cheryl. I'm not comfortable with her being in the palace alone. If you're there, you can look after her." Arden was full of confidence. "I'm taking that exam. If you can get in, the royal school is doomed." "Get out of here, you brat! Come here!" As Arden and Avery roughhoused, Mikhail's thoughts were only of Cheryl. "I wonder how she's doing." At the royal school, Cheryl was finally starting her classes. "This feels a bit like my school days in my past life. But this time, I will control my own destiny." I wonder if Mikhail got the letter. Will my brothers be able to come? She was so focused that she didn't even hear the maids calling her for dinner. The maids sighed. "Princess Cheryl is so diligent." Cheryl knew that in this world, the more powerful your magic, the more respect you earned. But in the Elven Kingdom, with the deepening prejudice, all the mages were male heroes. There was no place for women. To survive, she had to break through that blatant prejudice. If I become more exceptional, more powerful than anyone else, will there come a day when he will sigh and say, "Why wasn't she my biological daughter?" Will the sword hanging over my head finally disappear then? She found that her years of education on Earth were a huge help. She learned the magic incantations incredibly fast. "You have a great talent, Cheryl. Please return to your seat. Let's continue." The other students were not impressed. She probably just happened to know that one. "Such a show-off, so gross. Look at her, who does she think she is?" "I heard she's that new 7th princess. She probably thinks she's real royalty now. What is she?" No matter what, she'll never compare to a real princess. Sitting next to them was the 4th princess, Blythe. The teacher released a flock of crows for an experiment. Everyone screamed in panic, and some even started to cry. "Is this really just a drill? Are these crows going to kill us? No, look at their eyes. They have a red binding mark on them. They can't hurt us. This is a test from the teacher. We should calm down and use summoning magic." Only by summoning a powerful creature can we protect ourselves and drive away the crows. Is this really a 6-year-old? She's not scared at all. The fourth princess was the first to calm down. She used a summoning spell and brought forth a peacock, which protected everyone. We're saved! Princess Blythe is amazing. In the Elven Kingdom, she was a shining star. Born with a spirit body, her magical abilities were immense. Even as a woman, she was the center of attention. She was on par with Prince Xaden. This was Blythe, who had perfectly inherited Theron's beauty and coldness, known as the female heir. Everyone praised Blythe. The fourth princess is so strong. Don't be ridiculous, this is nothing. Princess Blythe, please teach us. I'm not even as good as your little finger. Of course. Do you know whose blood runs through my veins? Is there any student in the Elven Kingdom more powerful than Princess Blythe? Amazing! She's a national treasure. The next second, someone summoned a phoenix. The phoenix destroyed the entire flock of crows. That someone was Cheryl. More importantly, she could communicate with the phoenix, understanding what it was saying. At the sight of the true king of birds, the peacock bowed its head. How could this happen? I still lost? You're amazing. You're the pride of us common students. She's not a commoner, she's the 7th princess. But she has common blood. Cheryl gives all of us commoners hope. We can do it too. Did you all just come here to chat? We were supposed to study together. Get back to your books. On the side, the 4th princess's followers were annoyed. An imposter princess actually has followers now? Blythe didn't say anything, just shot Cheryl a venomous look and left. In the study hall, a little girl accidentally placed her book on the 4th princess's desk. A follower warned her to leave immediately. She pushed her to the ground and threatened her. The girl quickly apologized, grabbed her book, and ran. She ignored Cheryl when she tried to say hello. Cheryl found it strange but didn't know what was wrong. The next day in class, the girl was hesitant, unsure if she should sit with Cheryl. When the 4th princess's follower called out to her, she didn't dare to get any closer. The follower deliberately bumped into Cheryl. She claimed she had lost her balance. The next second, she became even more brazen, sweeping everything off Cheryl's desk. The follower said with a nasty grin, "Oops, it fell. Sorry." Cheryl didn't want to argue with them. She bent down to pick up her things, but they just laughed at her. Look at her, it's hilarious, haha. You'd better watch your step from now on. I can't believe that after all these years, I'm being bullied in school again. In this world, I'm being ostracized by a bunch of little kids. Outside, Prince Xaden was watching secretly, debating whether to help her. What am I crazy? Why should I help her? The bullying continued. They took her school bag and threw it out the window. The other students just laughed. No one helped. Tsk, tsk. If I were treated like that, I don't think I could go on living. It's too humiliating. She's pretty tough, though. Cheryl silently picked up her bag, telling herself, the sages say that when faced with the ridicule of petty people, it's better to stay far away than to waste time arguing. Sometimes I want to fight back, but I don't want Theron to find out. I don't want to cause trouble. Attention, forward march. Cheryl was surprised to see that the smallest one in the line was Arden. She was so happy her brother had gotten in and called out to him. Arden noticed her and was about to wave when the officer reprimanded him. This is training, no looking around. Arden was punished and Cheryl felt terrible. During their break, the siblings finally got to meet. Arden hugged Cheryl and started to cry. Sob. Cheryl, I missed you so much. How do I look? Am I handsome? Very handsome. But Arden, how did you end up here as a guard? Ugh, don't ask. Mikhail had us take the selection exam so we could go to school with you. But my written test score was too low, so I failed. I can't go to school with you. It's okay, brother. Being a guard is great too. You're still by my side, right? You're the best, Arden. You'll be the best royal guard ever. Arden, where's Avery? If I couldn't pass, there's no way he could have passed his interview. Anyway, Cheryl, how are you doing? Cheryl thought about it and decided not to tell him the truth. She didn't want him to worry. I can handle these things myself. Of course I'm doing great. See, I've even gotten a little chubby. As they were talking, 2 unwelcome guests arrived, their words dripping with sarcasm. Well, if it isn't our dear Cheryl. What are you up to? Making friends with the guards? Cheryl, do you know them? Why are they talking like that? It's okay, brother. They're my classmates. They probably need something. You should get back to your unit before the officer comes looking for you. I'll come find you after class. Okay, Cheryl, you go on then. Well, well, you really are like a dog. You come when you're called. The girl grabbed Cheryl's shoulder, squeezing hard. Cheryl winced but didn't cry out. She had to get out of there before Arden got worried. Oh, you're not happy about it? What are you going to do? Attack me with magic? In the Elven Kingdom, using magic on a normal person when your life wasn't in danger was illegal. It would result in a warning from the Mages Association, and serious offenses could lead to imprisonment. So she had to control herself. You think your magic is so great? You think you can beat everyone with magic? Hearing her, Cheryl looked up and the girl punched her. What are you looking at? Show some respect to the fourth princess. What's with that look, you brat? She was about to hit her again, but the fourth princess stopped her. Cheryl, let's have a competition. Let's see who the most powerful mage is. Fine by me. As long as you don't cheat, I'm ready anytime. You know you're dead. Only the winner gets to say that, right? If I remember correctly, my summoning spell was stronger than yours last time. What did you say? Say it again. No matter how many times I say it, I won. And no matter how many times we compete, it'll be the same. With a slap, the fourth princess struck her across the face. But Arden appeared just in time. He slapped her back. Brother, why aren't you with your unit? Cheryl, are you okay? I'm not going to let you get bullied. When Cheryl came to her senses, she urged Arden to leave. The fourth princess looked like she was about to explode. You dare to hit me! Guards, guards, seize them! I'm going to have them all thrown in prison! Arden stood in front of Cheryl. I hit you, you ugly hag! You dare to bully my sister! You're just a dog using someone else's power. He then kicked her a few more times for good measure. You bastard, you're dead! The next second, Arden was taken away, no matter how much Cheryl pleaded. Meanwhile, Andy, who had escaped the palace, arrived at the Valyrias manor. I was followed as soon as I left the palace. Those guys are so persistent. It took me so long to lose them. But I finally found her. Will it be weird if I just show up? Will she be happy to see me? He spotted Avery and appeared in front of him in a flash. It's you. What are you doing here? I'm here to see Cheryl, of course. Can you let her know I'm here? Are you sleepwalking? Don't you know where she is now? Thanks to you, Cheryl is now the laughingstock of the world, the girl who got jilted at her own engagement. Our whole family can barely show our faces in public. I'm so unlucky to have a sister like her and to run into your childish games. What are you talking about? Is it what I think it is? What am I talking about? You ran away from your own engagement in front of everyone and you're surprised people are talking? You're saying Cheryl was jilted, so she's Princess Cherie? Duh, of course. How is that possible? Where is Cheryl now? How is she? At that moment, Cheryl was in the palace's confinement room, feeling like she had dragged Arden down with her. How will Blythe twist the story to the king? The two consorts are probably crying to that pig right now. Your Majesty, she must be severely punished. Your Majesty, Cheryl is... Mikhail, don't be scared, Cheryl. I'm here to see you. Brother, how is Arden? Arden is fine. He's been sent to the city defense camp for training. He'll get a few scrapes at most. But I have a classmate there who can look out for him. That's good. I'm glad he's okay. It's my fault for not protecting you both. Don't worry, I'll figure something out. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. The fact that the king just put me in confinement means he's not going to punish me any more severely. Besides, I'm a princess he personally named. Punishing me less than half a year later would be an embarrassment for him. Don't worry, brother. Cheryl, oh Cheryl, you're so mature for your age, I don't even know what to say. Are you sure you'll be okay? I have a feeling Theron isn't as heartless as he seems. He won't hurt me. As expected, the two consorts were crying to the king. Why is it that wherever she goes, there's always trouble? First, she fights with the prince, and now she bullies the fourth princess and has a guard assault her. Is there no law in this palace? I've heard enough. Cheryl is suspended from school for a month and will be confined to the palace for self-reflection. The tutors will educate her properly. What? That's too light. That's not a punishment at all. Theron shot them a look, and no one dared to speak again. In the palace, Cheryl was reading quietly when she heard a voice from outside. You're in a pretty rough spot. Want to beg me to take you away from here? If you do, I might just be gracious enough to take you back to the Bornean Empire. Then you'll be free. If the Bornean Empire is so great, why did your father make you stay in the Elven Kingdom? Aren't you in a precarious position yourself, needing our country's protection? You can't even save yourself, so don't go making empty promises. Evan was speechless. She's got a sharp tongue. He looked at the girl in front of him, curious. What kind of person is she? Cheryl was not in the mood and unceremoniously slammed the window shut. Having finished all her books, she was incredibly bored. Actually, His Majesty's order for you to stay in the palace instead of going to school might not be a punishment. Are you saying that because you like having me around? There are a lot of great places in the palace. There's one place I think you'll really like. The two of them went to the royal library. For Cheryl, it was paradise. The librarian told her that it held over 1 million books and was the largest library on the entire continent. This is amazing. I can read every day. And so every day, Cheryl would visit the old librarian. She was happiest when she was reading. One day, the king happened to be passing by and saw them. Hampton couldn't help but remark that Princess Cheryl was so well-behaved and loved to study, always running to the library. Since when is the library open to children, especially one who's supposed to be under confinement? Oh no, is he angry? But thankfully the king didn't seem truly angry and didn't pursue the matter. On one of the books she saw the Queen's signature. Yes, many of the books here were collected by Her Majesty the Queen from all over the continent. She used to love coming here to read as well. Did she come here often? At that moment, Cheryl felt as if she could see her mother. Yes, Her Majesty was a great lover of books, much like you, 7th Princess. Really? You think I'm like the Queen? Very much so. When Her Majesty first came to the palace, she was as lively as you are now. She was a wise queen, gentle to everyone. One time she couldn't find her book and searched all day, only to find it hidden under her pillow. Haha. I never knew the Queen had such an adorable side. I wish the Queen were still in the palace. Why did she have to go to the Divine Spire? I heard that Her Majesty decided to go to the Divine Spire to serve the gods and pray for the little prince. It's because she feels guilty for sending me away, isn't it? After giving birth to the little prince, the Queen became very depressed. In the past, noblewomen from outside the palace could visit her, but then no one was allowed to see her anymore. Their conversation was overheard by one of the consorts. She told her maid to report what she had seen to the king's personal attendant. Someone is openly prying into royal secrets in the palace. We should ask what the punishment for that is. Andy, hearing the news, immediately returned to the palace, only to find Evan having tea with the king. He tried to avoid them, but was spotted. You and Andy cannot appear at the same time. You two don't seem to be following that rule very well. Brother, he's been a bit moody since he got back. I'll calm him down. If you have any problems, find Nicholas. He'll help you. What took you so long? And what were you doing having tea with the king? Evan, don't you understand how desperately I need my identity right now? It's my turn to be the Bornean prince again. You stay put and don't go out. Why? I was having fun. I don't want to be cooped up in that restricted space again. You have the nerve to say that. You've been with Cheryl this whole time and didn't even tell me. You're so disloyal. What was I supposed to tell you? Weren't you the one who ran off and abandoned your dear little brother? So you're willing to marry her? Do you like her? What are you talking about? Did you know all along that Princess Cherie was Cheryl? Were you deliberately trying to make me look like a fool? Yes, actually, I should have happily married her in your place. If I were living a happy married life in the palace, then you wouldn't be angry, right? What married life? You think a wife is more important than your brother? What is wrong with you? Anyway, it's my turn to be out and about now. You go hide. I'm going out to see people. But Father said that once you're back, I can't go out anymore. Nicholas suddenly appeared behind him and tied him up. Let go of me! What are you doing, Nicholas? He was then imprisoned. Nicholas, you bastard! One day when you can't beat me anymore, you'll regret this. Little Prince, you should focus on your training. This is your Bornean Empire's restricted space. Staying here and receiving the god's blessing will be good for you. You can only hope to beat me when you're stronger. I have things to do. Let me out. Evan, are you just going to stand there and let him bully your brother? You should just behave. This has nothing to do with me. At the royal school, Cheryl's month of confinement was finally over. I need to find time to visit Arden at the city defense camp. Well, who do we have here? If it isn't our little marriage alliance princess, Cheryl? Ah, these people are so annoying. This girl is such a jinx. She brings bad luck wherever she goes. That boy you call your brother, he's still at the city defense camp, right? And she got a whole group of people in the palace thrown in jail too. I heard there was an old servant, so old he practically had 1 foot in the grave. Poor thing. An old man in his 70s, lived a peaceful life, never made a mistake, and then he meets you and his luck runs out. What a terrifying jinx. I'd better stay far away. So scary. But she's really something, isn't she? I heard that because she's supposed to marry into the Bornean Empire. She can't be punished for anything, no matter how outrageous. Someone else always takes the fall. No wonder she's so reckless. Is what they're saying true? What happened? 10 days earlier, the king's attendant received a report that someone in the palace was gossiping about the queen. For some time now, the queen who had left the palace had become a taboo subject. The king was furious and ordered a thorough investigation, throwing those who had defied his authority into the dungeon. And so the old librarian was taken away. But he deserved it. That maid was arrested along with him. Cheryl rushed back to the palace. Why did this happen? I need to see the king. His Majesty is resting and will not see anyone. When will he wake up? I'll wait here. You cannot linger here. Please leave. It had been 3 days and she hadn't seen Theron. He seemed to be avoiding her. Is he really going to execute those people? Just because we talked about the queen's situation? It's my fault. I actually thought for a while that Theron had some warmth in him, that he wasn't completely hopeless. I was so wrong. He's just a tyrant, a cold-blooded demon. Why did he have to punish so many people? Why is he so sensitive about the queen? Is it because of the divine spire? Or is it the truth about the swapped baby that he's so afraid of? My existence brings misfortune to others. To protect them, I need power. To see the queen, to protect the Valyrias family, to protect the old servant, I need to obtain the ultimate power. Meanwhile, Andy, trapped in the restricted space, was trying to break the spell, and he actually succeeded. Not bad. You managed to break my binding spell. What else can you do? I'm sick of training. Can I go out now? I have not received such an order, but I do have some good news. Due to the influence of the black magic curse on you two, the Elven King has made an exception and will allow you to be taken to the Divine Spire to rest. What is that place? It is the Holy Land of our Elven Kingdom, a good place. This is our homework for today. Please practice it well. Also, next Monday we will have a placement test. The students groaned. Another test next week? At that moment, a student was fast asleep, her book about to fall off her desk. Cheryl picked it up for her and asked if she needed help. It was Crea, the only daughter of the Grand Duke. These problems are easy. Once you master the method, you can do them in your head. Hearing Cheryl solve the problem so quickly and clearly, Crea was filled with admiration. Numbers have patterns. As long as you remember the basic rules of calculation, you can apply them to anything. Cheryl wrote down the modern multiplication table and gave it to Crea. She wanted to get on her good side because she was the esteemed daughter of Grand Duke Philip. Her grandfather was Theron's great-uncle. According to the history books, although the Grand Duke and Theron weren't particularly close, as a high-ranking noble, he had deep connections within the upper echelons of the Elven Kingdom and held significant influence. If she could befriend her, she could leverage that power. Cheryl carefully explained how to use the multiplication table. If you use this, you can quickly do multiplication and division with 2-digit numbers in your head. Want to try? See 1 times 1 is 1, 9 times 9 is 81. You can break down every multiplication problem like this. The fourth princess and her followers watched, annoyed. Crea was of such high status that besides the fourth princess, no one dared to touch her. Soon the two girls became closer. Crea started sitting with Cheryl. Crea excitedly shared with Cheryl, "I've memorized the table!" Did it work well? It worked great. Let me test you. Using the method, Crea quickly solved the problem, and Cheryl was happy for her. Crea, I can't believe it's so easy. You really saved my life. I'm so grateful. The fourth princess and her group were speechless, thinking Crea was a fool for hanging out with the Jinx. That Cheryl really knows how to suck up to people. Princess Blythe, what should we do now? Blythe didn't seem to care, just thinking about her next move. At the ducal manor, Crea was ecstatic, telling everyone she had gotten an excellent grade. We know. Now please sit down quietly. The whole manor knows. I got an excellent grade all thanks to Cheryl. Mommy, she's my exam goddess. We are so grateful to Princess Cherie. Our Crea was never very interested in her studies and always struggled with exams. I just taught her some study methods. Crea is very smart on her own. Study methods? To be able to summarize and create methods, the seventh princess is truly amazing. Actually, it's not me. Someone else taught me this method. I've been spending time with him, and he's like a tutor, teaching me incredible techniques and so many secrets. There's someone that amazing? I'd like to meet them too. At the royal school, Cheryl was teaching Kreia the memory palace technique. For example, this incantation is in ancient Elvish and can be broken down into 10 phrases. For each phrase, we associate it with something familiar. By connecting these familiar things, we can better remember these complex incantations. That's so interesting. Everyone loved Cheryl's methods. Cheryl, did your teacher also teach you this memory technique? Yes, the plan is working. Sure enough, several nobles came to Theron's office. Are you also here for the library administrator? Before you arrived, the Marquis of Sussex was here, asking for the old man to be released. The Marquis is from the Queen's family, and the Queen loves books and had some acquaintance with the old man. Why are you here to plead for him? I was not aware of the Marquis's request. I simply feel that given the administrator's years of extensive reading, he is a knowledgeable and wise man. The Elven Kingdom has always valued scholarship. If his crime is not great, I ask your majesty to temper your anger. I would like to request that you allow him to serve as the librarian at the Royal Primary School. In the palace, Andy finally escaped from Nicholas and went to see Cheryl. She didn't know their secret and thought he had come to gloat. What happened between Cheryl and Evan while I was gone? You got what you wanted. I made a huge mistake and caused an innocent person to be severely punished. What happened? Can I help you? What can you do? Take me away from here? Can you take me and everyone I care about away? Forget it. I'm already trying my best. I hope there will be a good outcome. Even if I can't take your family and friends away right now, I will do everything I can to help you. I will stand by you unconditionally, I promise. What's with you today? Are you feeling okay? But thank you anyway. When the time comes for me to leave, I hope you won't run away from our marriage a second time. I won't. I really won't. I promise. Last time was an accident. All right. But you're so inconsistent. Maybe you'll change your mind tomorrow. Sometimes I wonder if you have multiple personalities. Well, Andy wanted to explain. Princess Cherie, Prince Andy, you're here too? Hampton, hello. Are you on duty? I'm here to deliver His Majesty's order to release the old administrator from the library. Anne, Princess, you don't know, these past few days His Majesty has been pestered by several dukes and marquises over this matter. Hearing this, Cheryl's eyes lit up and she hugged Andy in celebration. He blushed slightly. In the library, Theron reinstated the old servant to his original position. Cheryl came to see him secretly but didn't go in. After seeing him, she left. I hope that when I have enough power, I'll be able to come back and see you properly. Walking in the garden, Cheryl felt like an idiot, and I thought he liked me. His heart is only filled with power. To make his son king, he can cast aside his own daughter. To hide a royal secret, he can disregard human feelings and imprison people at will. He's a demon, an inhuman pig. Just then, Andy appeared again, leaping down from a tree. What is with this guy? Why is he so energetic now? Not like the sarcastic person from before, more like how he was at the very beginning. She suddenly felt the urge to tell him about the troubles of her identity. But whether it was about the Queen or Theron, she couldn't explain it without revealing her true self. How could she tell a living person this secret? You don't look happy. What's wrong? He looks so sincere, so innocent. Does he really want to listen to me? But I can't reveal my identity. And in this situation, I'm not even supposed to know I'm the Queen's child. She made up an excuse. I had a dream that the people in the Divine Spire were suffering. So I'm worried about the Queen who is in the tower praying for the people. If you're worried, I can go check on her for you. Check on her? Can you get in? You're in luck. I happen to be one of the few people in the world who can enter the Divine Spire. Cheryl was excited but had to be sure. It's true, I'm not kidding. Nicholas has me training there. Hearing you say that makes me feel much better. I always thought the Divine Spire was a terrifying place that mortals couldn't enter. But if you can go in, maybe it's not so scary? Just thinking about it, even though you haven't seen her yet, I already feel more at ease. Thank you, Andy. But wait, don't you think I'm a little crazy? It was just a dream. I've never even met the Queen, and here I am, acting like I care so much about a stranger. Isn't that a bit dramatic? I'd think it was strange if you were cold-hearted. You just have the face of a sentimental person. And what's wrong with worrying about the Queen? She's the mother of our nation. Many people are grateful to her. You're not the only one. You'll be a queen one day, too. No, an empress. He mumbled too softly, and she asked him to repeat it. Nothing. I didn't say anything. At the royal school, Cheryl was wondering if Andy would be able to see her mother. When someone came to ask her a question, she continued to explain the memory palace technique. Can we listen too? Cheryl was surprised for a moment, then said, Of course. Thank you, Princess Cherie. Cheryl saw the first Princess Dottie behind them. Sister Dottie, are you joining us too? Behind them, Blythe was fuming. These people. Even Xaden came to mock her. You actually lost to Crea in the math and Elvish tests? If your grades hadn't dropped and angered father, I wouldn't be getting my homework checked all the time. Do you hear yourself? You're a waste. In the palace, Theron was reviewing the grades. Actually, the fourth princess's grades have always been stable. But this time, the Grand Duke's daughter Crea and the Marquis of Sussex's second daughter have all improved dramatically, so the fourth princess only ranked fifth. What about Cheryl? Is she keeping up? She's not at the top, but she's consistently in the top 10. Theron asked another question. How is Xaden? Well, the prince is falling a bit behind. Theron saw that Xaden was at the bottom of the list and snapped, "And this is the student you've been teaching?" In Xaden's chambers. A real man, letting a bunch of girls beat you? Are you not ashamed? Every great scholar in our kingdom's history has been a man. How did you end up like such a fool? What are you crying for, you useless thing? How could I have a son like you? Theron remembered the royal scholar's prophecy. The child you will have will be the heir who leads the elven kingdom to an even greater golden age. Queen, remember, this is your child. Human children are so stupid, lacking in intelligence and common sense. It's so frustrating. Theron thought Cheryl isn't entirely like that. After leaving Xaden's chambers, he asked what Cheryl was doing. I hear Princess Cheryl has been wanting to visit her brother at the city defense camp, so she's been studying hard. She probably wants to get good grades so she can ask for your permission. Princess Cheryl is so considerate. Your Majesty, are we going to Princess Cheryl's chambers now? Has Cheryl come to see me recently? It was an awkward silence. It seems she has not. Damn it, never mind. In Dottie's chambers, Cheryl, the first princess, and Crea were studying. No wonder Crea praises you. The memory palace you taught me is very useful. How do you know such an advanced technique? This girl is definitely not as simple as she seems. Did the Bornean Empire choose to ally with her because they know the inside story? I learned it from the old librarian in the palace library. I even got punished for it. I don't dare to talk to that old man anymore. By saying this, with the psychological trauma of the last imprisonment, no one would dare to confront the old man and risk being accused of prying into royal secrets again. Unless it was Theron himself. Why are you teaching us so freely? It can't be because you're young and naive, can it? What is her real identity? At the Valyrias manor, we believe good things should be shared, and Dr. Davies said that there are many excellent mages and scholars on the continent of Cresentia. If the Elven Kingdom wants to become stronger, we need more talented people. He's been working hard to promote public education, so we all have to become stronger. Using Dr. Davies to shut me up? I'm also curious. How do you manage to suppress your scores so precisely every time? What? I don't know what you're talking about. In the last few exams, you've always placed 4th or 5th. You didn't get first place not because you couldn't, but because you didn't want to, right? I've seen your papers. Even the problems you taught Crea she got the points for, but you got them wrong. Wasn't that on purpose? Why? This first princess is so sharp. She sees right through everything. Is my dear sister Dottie here? It was Blythe. What are you doing here? What? We're studying with Sister Dottie. Do you want to join us? Who wants to hang out with someone of unknown origin? With that, Blythe turned and stormed off. I think I know why you're suppressing your scores. I heard you overshadowed Blythe's spirit beast in magic class, so she's not happy and has been targeting you. Is that so? I didn't know, but I don't like her either. The feeling is mutual. Ha ha ha, you're an interesting kid. The term end exams are in a few days. What place do you think I can get? His Majesty the King will be personally grading the exams. I hear there are rewards for the top 3. If Sister Dottie is willing, I think you can get first place. They heard laughter from nearby. Theron was there too. I hear Father is very fond of you. No, ever since I made that mistake, he seems to be angry and doesn't talk to me anymore. How is that possible? Adults don't hold grudges against children. If Father likes you, he will like you. If you do well next time, he'll definitely dote on you again. Really? Of course. Our father may not like girls very much, but he dislikes useless people even more. In the palace garden, Alara was trying to cast a fireball, but she failed again. Your Majesty, don't be angry. Alara is still young. Alara, let's practice again, one more time. Why is my bloodline filled with such useless children? Next week, I will personally test all of you. Alara, do you want to get a 0 on that test? Looking at his child, Theron thought of Cheryl again. Finally, the day of the exam arrived. The questions are easy. Dottie should be able to get a perfect score. Since she's seen through me, I don't need to hold back anymore. While others were clueless. Cheryl's pen was flying across the paper. Time was up. Alara handed in a blank paper. Because Lady Pamelia had told her, this is just one test. It's okay if you don't know the answers. Mother has arranged everything. After the exam, don't write your name on it, just hand it in. When the teachers are grading, there will be another high-scoring paper with our name on it. Alara, you will definitely not be worse than that brat. As she was handing in her paper, Theron suddenly arrived. Is he going to have them graded on the spot? I'm doomed. Alara started to get scared. Report, Your Majesty. The results of the math test are as follows. Prince Xaden, 83. Princess Blythe, 83. First place, Princess Dottie, a perfect score of 100. Princess Cherie, 98. It was actually 100, but 2 points were deducted for neatness. Impossible! That brat couldn't have gotten a perfect score. She cheated. On what grounds do you say I cheated? Do you have any proof? The last question on this test was beyond the curriculum. It makes sense that my older sister could do it. She's been studying advanced math for a long time. But who are you? You got a perfect score and you're saying you didn't cheat? Just because you can't do it, you think others cheated? That's just pathetic. I can solve the last problem for you right now to prove whether I can do it or not. So defensive, a cornered dog, are we? A live demonstration? Let's see it then. Here is a blank sheet of paper. Princess Cherie, please do your calculations here. Thank you, teacher, but I don't need it. The question doesn't require an exact value. I can do it in my head. In her head? Does she mean she can do the calculations without any tools, just in her mind? Is she crazy? Actually, this problem is very simple. And with that, Cheryl solved it. Amazing, completely correct. Wow, it's really right. How did she do that? Cheryl, you really are something else with all these strange tricks up your sleeve. Your Majesty, have I now proven that I didn't cheat? Cheryl, come here. What should I call you? Father. Theron gave her another problem. She solved it just as quickly, not only giving the answer, but explaining the process as well. Where did you learn all these mental math techniques? They're quite good. They're just a few clever tricks, nothing special. Is that so? You know they're just tricks, but you still study hard when it matters. Then Xaden was right, you did cheat, using these clever tricks. Father. Cheryl thought he was going to get angry, but instead, Theron picked her up and said, But I like this cleverness of yours. Princess Cherie is exceptionally intelligent. Her second place is well-deserved. If anyone wishes to question it, they had better have the same skill for quick mental calculations. Damn you, Cheryl, I'll get you back for this later. Continue third place, Lady Crea. You shared your study methods so freely, and now Crea, who used to have average grades, is in the top 3. How many more surprises do you have in store for me? I only shared. Crea worked hard too. All right, I said the top 3 students would get a reward. Dottie, Cheryl, Crea, what do you want? Father, I would like to have lunch with you alone. All right, let's do it today. I want to see the Queen, but my current achievements aren't enough to request an audience with her. So Cheryl said, I don't have anything I want right now. May I tell you later when I think of something? Yes, you may. Your Majesty, the rare books in the library can only be read inside the library. I would like to be able to take books home to read. Granted. Your Majesty, there is one paper here with no name on it. The handwriting is Princess Alara's. It's mostly blank, and the total score is only 24. 24? Theron laughed, a humorless sound. Father was already angry about my fireball spell, and now my math grade is so bad. Father, I didn't mean it. I had a terrible stomachache, that's why I couldn't finish the test. Is that so? Theron could see right through her. I'll do better next time. You'd better remember what you said. Dottie, let's go to lunch. Yes, Father. You're lying. It's all your fault, you brat. Cheryl was exasperated. What does your bad math grade have to do with me? Idiot. Useless idiot. You're a bit smarter than that idiot, and easier on the eyes, too. Why have their attitudes suddenly softened? Did they inherit Theron's preference for the strong? In the palace. Mother, it's all because of that Cheryl. Father doesn't like me anymore. You have to help me. Don't worry, Mother will get revenge for you. Magic is so dangerous. Accidents are bound to happen when children are in magic class, aren't they? In the magic class, Kriya was nervous. Professor Eric is always so strict. What if I say the incantation and the magic doesn't work? Don't worry. If you can say the incantation correctly, it will definitely work. You'll be fine. Alara watched them, gritting her teeth. They're so infuriating. She remembered what her mother had said. Your magic professor owes me a favor. I've already contacted him. In this magic class, you just watch. Mother will get revenge for you. That damn brat, just you wait. I'm thirsty. Go get some tea. But the professor will be here any minute. Are you going or not? Mr. Eric, this is my first time as a teaching assistant. Thank you for having me. Not at all. You are Dr. Davies' prized pupil. It's only natural for you to be a teaching assistant. But why did you want to be one? For certain personal reasons. Mr. Eric, is that an unacceptable answer? No, I had originally agreed to that lady's request, but now there's a teaching assistant. I'll just have her use the counter first. Class, today we have a teaching assistant. He is a student of Dr. Davies, excellent in both character and academics. I hope you will all learn from him. Hello, everyone. You can call me Mikhail. That's the Mikhail that Dr. Davies takes everywhere with him. I heard that not only are his grades exceptional, but his magic level is also top tier. He's so handsome. If I could become a student of Dr. Davies in the future, we'd be fellow apprentices, wouldn't we? Mikhail was looking for Cheryl, and their eyes met. Do you know him? He's my brother. You have such an amazing brother, and you didn't introduce us. Kriya turned into a fangirl whenever she saw a handsome guy. All right, quiet down, let's begin class. Raw magical elements can unleash infinite power in different combinations. But how can we more accurately determine the power of a spell? This magic value counter was designed by the Ministry of Magic. As long as you attack it with magic, it will display a numerical value. The higher the value, the stronger your magic. Mikhail, please demonstrate for everyone. Ice Blade. Mikhail cast the spell without an incantation. The power of the counter was too strong, and it knocked all the students over. The Ministry of Magic's counters have had problems with exploding before. They promised this new batch was fine. But this is my chance. Students, are you all right? Is anyone hurt? Professor Kriya fell and hit her head. Sob, Professor, I'm so scared. The air is now filled with volatile elements and dust. Do not use magic to clear the dust. It could cause a secondary explosion. Although you can't see, please follow the sound of my voice and proceed to the door in an orderly fashion to evacuate. I'm leaving the evacuation to you. Can you handle it? I'm going to check on the injured. I'm right by the door. Please do not panic. Listen carefully to my voice and come towards me. Do not trample each other. Wake up, Kriya. How is Kriya? What happened to her? We fell during the explosion. Kriya hit her head and is now unconscious. This isn't good. Let me check on Kriya first. Princess Dottie, it might be difficult for Mikhail to evacuate everyone on his own. Could you please help? Of course, Professor Eric. Professor, I can help too. You're still too young. Stay here with me and look after Kriya. Okay, Professor Eric. The wound isn't big. Why is she unconscious? Princess Cherie, are you very worried about Lady Kriya? Then die. Professor, why are you trying to kill me? Princess Cherie, Baron Valyrias is no longer in the center of royal power. Why does he still have frequent correspondence with the Queen? And why did you ask Prince Andy to inquire about the Queen's situation in the temple? Are you one of His Majesty's people? Does he know? Is that why he's trying to kill me? His Majesty came to the school yesterday, didn't he? Why is he in the mood to come again today? I can't help but wonder what reward he'll offer. I just came over without thinking. Theron, when did you start caring so much about a girl? Have you forgotten what happened in the past? Boom! It was the classroom Cheryl was in. What? Go see what happened. I thought I had earned his approval. I thought I had become his pride, that if he ever found out the truth, he wouldn't dispose of me so easily. I was so naive, and I shouldn't have thought the royal school was safe and let my guard down. Cheryl fell silent. Eric thought he had succeeded. But at the last moment, Cheryl summoned a fire phoenix. If you come into contact with fire elements near it, devour them. Explode. You little thing! You can summon a fire phoenix without an incantation. It's on fire. Help. With a loud bang, Eric was knocked down by the phoenix. His target is me. If I leave, at least Kriya won't be hurt by a secondary attack. Help! Professor Eric is trying to kill me! Shut up! Get over here! Is this the power of high-level magic? I can't move at all. This is it. Theron arrived just in time to stop the attack. Eric suffered from the backlash of his own spell. No, why is His Majesty here? I can't get caught. Your Majesty, are you all right? Is Princess Cherie okay? I'm fine. Princess Cherie is in shock. Elemental stabilization, dispel. No, don't touch me. Weren't you trying to kill me? Cheryl. Dr. Davies, come quickly. Look at the wound on Princess Cherie's neck. It's all right. She just used too much magic and passed out. She's fine. What about that man? Your Majesty, he has already crushed the poison capsule in his mouth and is dead. How dare a teacher at the royal school harm a princess? Send out the order, investigate. At the Divine Spire, Andy was studying. You're here early to study again? Nicholas is always nagging me about you. Can you stop being such a try-hard? You could just come early with me. I'd rather listen to him nag. I have some news that I guarantee will make you skip class. If you help me out a little on Nicholas's next magic test, I'll cover for you for skipping this time. Forget it, no way. It's about your fiancé. Not interested? Cheryl, what happened to her? Make up an excuse for me for this class, and I'll help you on the next test. You got it. Help, you can't escape. Why would Baron Valyrias be corresponding with the Queen? Why would your fiancé be asking about the Queen's situation in the Divine Spire? Because you are the princess who was supposed to be dead. Don't come near me! Wait, how am I in the palace? Who is this? Is it one of Theron's men? Cheryl, it's me. Andy, why did you climb the wall to get in? How are you? You still have the energy to ask me questions. It seems you're not seriously hurt. I snuck out of the Divine Spire, so I couldn't use the main gate. What happened? How did you get hurt? He seems to genuinely care about me. Should I tell him the truth? But thinking about it, if this assassination was really Theron's doing, I'd be in a dungeon right now, not lying in this bed. Right now, all I know for sure is that Eric was lying. I don't have a clear picture of the situation. What can I even tell Andy? Before I figure it out, I should probably send him away so he doesn't get dragged into this. There was an accident in magic class. It's nothing serious. Really? Cross my heart, it's class time now. If Nicholas sees you're not there, won't you get in trouble? I have my ways of fooling Nicholas. She doesn't know about me and Evan, that Evan can cover for me, but now's not the right time to tell her the truth. Nicholas isn't easy to fool. Don't let him catch you. I'm fine. You should go back. I'm worried he'll punish you. If you're worried about me, just say so. What's with all the pushing? I'm leaving. Next time, don't sneak out just because you hear I'm hurt. Your training is more important. Don't say that. You're my empress. You're more important than my training. Princess Cherie, are you awake? Andy, you have to go. If Hampton sees you, he'll know you skipped class. Cheryl, I'll find a chance to come see you again. Why does this feel like a secret rendezvous with a lover? Calm down, calm down. Hampton, I'm awake. Princess Cherie, the person behind your attack has been found. His Majesty has summoned you. What? There was someone else behind it? Yes, and it's someone you're very familiar with. It was Lady Pamelia. Lady Pamelia? I had no idea you hated Cheryl so much. Your Majesty, I've been framed. It was all that little brat's plan. She wants to get rid of me and my daughter so she can have all your affection. Don't be fooled by her innocent act. All the evidence points to you. What else do you have to say? The reason for your injury was that Princess Alara resented you for stealing her spotlight. To get revenge for her, Lady Pamelia had Eric find an opportunity to get rid of you. So Lady Pamelia was behind it. In that case, Eric had no reason to lie. That's why I thought Theron had found out my identity and wanted to kill me. But then I thought, Theron has plenty of ways to kill me. Sending Hampton would be more reliable than using Eric. So when Hampton said they had caught the person behind it, I thought they had found a third party involved in my identity. But his explanation now points to a petty squabble between princesses, not involving the Queen or my identity. This is getting more and more complicated. It's too much for a kid like me. Although Lady Pamelia is a consort, you don't have to worry. His Majesty will be fair and just. Okay, this is all I know for now. I can't make a judgment. I'll just wait and see. Your Majesty, Princess Cherie has arrived. Lady Pamelia was still blaming Cheryl. Your Majesty, this evidence is all fake. That little brat framed me. Father, I'm here. Come here. I called you because you are the victim, and the culprit should be punished by you. But perhaps I was inconsiderate. You just woke up and may not have the energy. I can manage, Father. Please proceed. All right, as you wish. Let's continue. This little brat, she's so good at acting. No wonder Alara kept losing to her and fell out of favor. If it weren't for her, His Majesty would still treat me and my daughter like he used to. You little brat, die! Hampton, are you dead? Hampton quickly restrained Lady Pamelia, who continued to curse at Cheryl. Theron couldn't listen to it anymore and dealt with her himself. I was going to let you decide her punishment, but now that I think about it, you're just a child. You don't know how to punish people. That would be letting her off too easy. How about I do it for you? Cheryl was terrified. Her tongue... Did he just cut out her tongue? Theron really is a tyrant. Lady Pamelia conspired to harm a princess. She will be beheaded. Her entire family will be enslaved and sent to the northern border to build the wall. Princess Alara will be sent to the Divine Spire and will never be allowed to leave. Cheryl, are you satisfied with this punishment? Are you scared? Theron suddenly appeared behind her. Cheryl trembled and backed away. Your Majesty, please let me take the princess away. His Majesty is being so kind to the princess, but she's just a child. She must be scared. This fear will surely anger him. No need. What, are you so afraid of me? If any other prince or princess were so ungrateful, His Majesty would be furious. But with Princess Cherie, he really looks like a loving father. Father, it hurts. What? You think your father is a terrible person? I have this strange feeling that he's a little afraid of me saying I'm scared of him. You did this to protect me. As the one you're protecting, how could I think you're terrible? But many people receive my protection and still call me a tyrant. You were scared just now, weren't you? I dare not comment on matters of state. But I believe that royal authority must carry with it a certain amount of force. Otherwise, how can it command respect? But I was a little scared just now. I'm only a few years old, after all. Even though she's not my biological daughter, she's still my daughter. Excuse me, she is my biological daughter. The palace has been thoroughly purged. That's why the news got out so late. According to our plan, all the evidence pointed to Lady Pamelia. She has been executed by the king, her entire family has been enslaved, and Princess Alara has been sent to the Divine Spire. Furthermore, we have disposed of all the evidence. His Majesty will not trace any of this back to you. You can rest assured, Your Grace. It's a pity the child is still alive. She'll definitely have guards watching her now. We'll hold off for now. But if I may be so bold, Your Grace has not confirmed that Princess Cherie is really the Queen's child. And even with His Majesty's condition, she would still face death. Why must Your Grace dirty your own hands? You're not married, are you? So you don't understand a father's love for his son. With that girl around, how much will my child have to suffer? In the palace, the two of them were having a leisurely afternoon tea. Theron even got Cheryl a cookie. Xaden was jealous. Father has never gotten me a cookie. Your Highness, why don't you join them for some refreshments? Princess Cherie won't mind. Is this about whether she minds or not? She's so excellent in every way. If I stand next to her, it just makes me look stupid. I'm not going. You were just frightened. Is a single afternoon tea enough to calm your nerves? I was finally enjoying something sweet and forgetting that bloody scene, and you just had to bring it up. Oh no, how could I speak to Theron in that tone? He's a tyrant. All right, it's my fault. I shouldn't have brought it up. Don't worry, as long as I'm here, no one can hurt you. She had already given up hope on Theron, but now he was comforting her like a loving father. Does he really have such a warm side? Can I really have expectations for him? Is Father comforting her? It seems so. The two spying from a distance were also surprised. Ugh, Father has never been like that with us. What kind of spell has that Cheryl cast? Just then, Theron turned his head and saw the two of them peeking. They quickly hid. Cheryl found it strange. Why is Father staring over there? Father, is there something over there? Just a timid little cub. Come on, I have a surprise for you. Let me show you. Watching them so close, Xaden was filled with envy. His Majesty has never been so kind to you, Your Highness. No matter how much he likes this Princess Cherie, she can't surpass your status, right? You are the crown prince. Willis, who gave you permission to gossip about my father? Your Highness, I'm just speaking up for you. Since this is your first offense, I'll dock you half a year's salary. If it happens again, you can go receive your punishment from my father yourself. Get up. Willis, go find out what surprise Father has prepared for Princess Cherie. Your Highness, you're finally seeing reason. Should I also find a way for this Princess Cherie to fall out of favor? I will protect your position. That won't be necessary. I will compete with her fairly. Father, aren't you going to show me the surprise? Why did you bring me here? Isn't this your bedchamber? I haven't decided who to entrust your care to yet, so you will be staying in my chambers for the time being. This is the surprise? I like this surprise very much, Father, she said. But inside she was thinking, the reward is you get to live with me? What kind of clueless guy surprise is this? But there's no precedent for a prince or princess to live with you. And I'm not even your daughter. Cheryl, you are my daughter. I have already decided. You must be tired now. Go get some rest. Princess Cherie, please follow me. Father, I'll take my leave now. Although Theron really does care about me, he's so domineering. There's no room for discussion at all. Hampton, although Lady Pamelia has been punished, I still feel there's something strange about this. I will have someone continue to look into it. As for Princess Cherie, from this day forward, you will be in charge of her safety. Your Highness, your daily necessities have already been moved to the bedchamber. Would you like to see if there's anything else you need? No need to trouble yourself. I'd like to take a nap first. Let me have some quiet time to sort through the situation and decide what to do next. Of course, we will arrange it. Theron said on the surface that he hadn't decided who to entrust my care to, but knowing his personality, he probably still has doubts about this matter and will continue to investigate secretly. On one hand, this aligns with my own goals. I might be able to get information from him and not be so passive. On the other hand, there's the risk of my identity being exposed. But if they couldn't find anything out about this matter before, it's likely to become even harder as time goes on. I don't need to worry for now. I want to give His Majesty a gift. Is there anything he likes? Theron has done so much for me. I should give him something in return. I can't be a thankless person. That we would not dare to presume His Majesty's preferences. Theron is so strict with his subordinates. They're terrified to even mention his likes. Your Highness, this is the calming soup the royal chef has prepared for you at His Majesty's request. Cheryl took a look. Calming soup made with seaweed? She took a sip and immediately spit it out, which scared the maids. I'm fine. It's just that this soup is too bitter. This soup always tastes this way. If your Highness doesn't like it, I will have it replaced. That gave Cheryl an idea for a gift. In the Elven Kingdom, most people practiced magic. At a certain level, they could survive without eating normal food. Normal food was generally only used in social settings as an accompaniment, so the taste wasn't considered important. This view was even more prevalent in the palace. As the king, Theron looked down on mortal food and even disdained the act of eating itself. As a result, the food in the palace was generally terrible, so much so that a seaweed soup meant to be calming was bitter enough to make her gag. Now she would use this problem to make a delicious soup to repay Theron. The quality of this seaweed is good. First, put it in the pot. Your Highness, you shouldn't trouble yourself with this. Please let us do it. Start the fire first. When it boils, add the seaweed. The news reached Xaden's ears. Princess Cherie is making soup for His Majesty to repay him? She's taken over the entire kitchen? I've been watching for a while, but I can't figure out what she's trying to make. Haha. That little brat is trying so hard to please Father. He's definitely going to punish her. Are they in the main kitchen? I'm going to go watch. I can't miss her looking pathetic. Your Highness, Princess Cherie has probably already presented the food to His Majesty. They should be in the dining hall. Father, you have taken such good care of me, but I have had nothing to give you in return. After much thought, I remembered a recipe I learned from an old book and made this soup for you to try. I tried that kind of fawning trick before. Father doesn't fall for it. Get ready to be punished just like me, you little brat. You should focus on your magic studies, not waste your energy on something as trivial as cooking. You are right, Father, but I believe cooking is a small token of a child's affection. You lack for nothing, so all I can offer you is food I've made with my own hands to express my gratitude. You're still young. Be careful not to get burned messing with these things. Father, would you like to try some? Be careful, it's hot. This is a flavor I've never tasted before. So delicious. How did you make this? A child who is so excellent in magic and other areas. If only she were my biological... Do you really want to know, Father? The source is love. While I was cooking, I was thinking of you the whole time and poured all my love into the soup. That's why it's so delicious. If I were some senile old king, I might believe that. I'm not trying to fool you, Father. This is my secret magic. If I told you, how could I win your favor in the future? Why is it that when I make a gesture of affection, I'm treated like that, but you accept it from Cheryl, father, who is really your child? After resting, Cheryl went to the Royal Primary School. Crea was overjoyed and gave her a big hug. Cheryl, you're finally back at school. I missed you so much. Crea, Sister Dottie, I missed you too. Are you both okay? How have you been? Crea looked Cheryl over carefully. After the assassination attempt, you didn't come to school. Then I heard you moved into His Majesty Theron's chambers. We wanted to visit you, but His Majesty always refused our requests, saying you were recovering. We were so worried about you. Princess Dottie also came over. Are you okay? We were very worried after what happened. We shouldn't have trusted that teacher and left you alone. I'm fine. Thank you for your concern, Sister Dottie, Crea. You don't have to worry. It wasn't your fault, and Father has already found the culprit. I'll be fine, I promise. That's good. But I also heard you made love soup for Father, and he really liked it. I'm surprised Father liked yours so much. It seems he really likes you. Did the news spread that fast? You all know? It was to repay His Majesty. He not only saved me, but also found the person who did it. I didn't have anything to repay him with, so I just made some soup. As she was speaking, Dottie noticed Xaden approaching and deliberately brought it up again. Someone else tried to win Father's favor with food before, but unfortunately, not only did they fail, they were severely punished. Hearing the first princess bring this up, Xaden, not far away, had a ferocious look on his face. Why? I'm Father's child. Why does he treat us so differently? And how dare Dottie bring that up? Cheryl, you just wait. I'll let it slide for now, but one day, I'll get my revenge for stealing my father from me. Ever since you came, Father likes me less and less. Damn it, Crea whispered in Cheryl's ear. It seems Prince Xaden holds a grudge against you because of this. He's the only prince, yet he's so childish. But Cheryl, you should still be careful. You never know what he might do. The three of them seemed to have endless things to talk about, but the school bell rang. All right, let's go to class. We can talk more later. Before they went in, Dottie said casually, Xaden is a bit childish, but he has always been extremely favored by Duke Nahan, who treats him like his own son. Duke Nahan? The name made Cheryl freeze. She would never forget it. Duke Nahan was Xaden's biological father. He knew about the baby swap and supported it, which was why he was so good to Xaden. Dottie didn't know the truth, but was she trying to warn her? If she threatened Xaden's position, Duke Nahan might not let her go. Cheryl knew Dottie was looking out for her and quickly thanked her. No need to thank me. You're smart. You know what I'm saying. I hope you'll remember it. Crea was too innocent to understand what they were talking about. Huh? Why are you thanking her? For what? But they didn't answer her question. During class, Cheryl felt a strange sensation, like someone was staring at her. It was the fourth princess and Xaden. Why are they both staring at me now? Class is now in session. The voice was familiar. The new teacher introduced himself. I am your new magic teacher, Mikhail. He's so handsome. That's the genius from the Valyrias family, right? I heard he showed great talent as a child and was taken in as a prized pupil by Dr. Davies. He's not much older than us, but he's already our teacher. He's amazing. Cheryl was even more stunned. What's it like to suddenly have your brother, who's about the same age as your teacher? Their eyes met and they nodded to each other in understanding. Magic is a fun subject. It emphasizes practical application, but it also requires us to be familiar with the theory. Cheryl was smitten. No matter what, Mikhail is so handsome like this. She introduced him to Crea again. This is my brother. Yeah, we know. Why are you telling us this? This girl is just showing off. Tsk, tsk. Such a brother complex. After class, Cheryl and Mikhail were talking. Mikhail, everyone really likes you. They all said you explain things so clearly. You're so amazing, brother. Are you that excited, Cheryl? Do you like my teaching? I love it. Your glory is my glory. But it's a little strange. How did you become my teacher? I know. It must have been Dr. Davies and the headmaster recognizing your talent. I'll have to find a chance to thank them properly. You have more than just those two to thank. Dr. Davies recommended me to the headmaster, and I passed his evaluation, but he was worried I was too young to command respect and turned me down. Then, for some reason, His Majesty found out about it and summoned me. I hear you are Cheryl's brother, Mikhail. Is that correct? Yes, Your Majesty, I am Cheryl's brother. In that case, I want you to promise me that as long as you are at the school, Cheryl, who is also a student there, will never be in any danger. Can you do that? I made that promise, so His Majesty let me become your teacher. He likes you very much. So that's how it happened. I had no idea His Majesty did so much for me. Xaden, who had been listening nearby, grew even more furious. Father went to such lengths for that brat. Damn you, Cheryl, you will pay. At Duke Nahan's castle. His Majesty does not like me having private contact with you, Your Highness. I have reminded you not to contact me unless absolutely necessary. So, for you to take this risk tonight, has something happened? Uncle Nahan, Father really likes Cheryl. I can feel it. He likes her more than he likes me. Much more. To protect her, he even had her brother become a teacher at the royal school. I don't want this. I have told you, Your Highness, you can express any feeling here, even the darkest ones. I will accept them all. You don't have to hold back. I'm not jealous of her. I'm so jealous of her. I was supposed to be Father's favorite. Why did this happen? Now she's going to surpass me, and one day she might even take my position as crown prince. I want her dead. I want Father to love me. The Duke hugged Xaden, his face filled with pain. Everything will be as you wish, Your Highness. Please, Uncle Nahan, you must kill Cheryl. Rest assured, Your Highness, it will be done. Do something for me. Your Highness, you're not planning to assassinate that brat like last time, are you? His Majesty may have closed the case, but he has Mikhail protecting her at school and guards watching her at all times. Now is not a good time to act. It would be better to wait until he withdraws his people. I can wait, but Xaden has to continue to suffer because of that brat? Your Highness, you must consider your own safety. Who said I was going to do it myself? My dear brother has a secret weakness, something he will absolutely not tolerate anyone touching. And that weakness is the very person that brat has been trying to inquire about and see time and time again. Give her a chance to see the queen and then let my brother run into them. I can't wait to see her torn to shreds by him. Then I'll just happen to be passing by the palace to watch. In the palace, Andy came to see Cheryl in the middle of the night. Cheryl, I'm going to take you to do something incredibly rebellious. There's a chance right now for you to go to the Divine Spire and see the Queen. Do you want to go? Do you know what you're saying? The Divine Spire is heavily guarded. How could it be so easy to get in? Normally, there's no chance. But tonight is different. Tonight, a strange magic circle appeared in the outskirts of the capital, and a large number of monsters are pouring in. To defend the capital, the High Priest of the Divine Spire has led all the clergy there. The remaining guards are skilled warriors, but they have no magic. I got 2 magic invisibility cloaks. The magic on them is basic to a high-level mage, but it's enough to get us past those guards. And I've even found out where the Queen is in the Divine Spire. We just have to follow the central path to the end. No, the Queen is a taboo subject in the palace. The last time I just mentioned her to the old librarian, he was thrown in jail. It took me a long time to get him released. If we're caught sneaking in, it doesn't matter if we die, but it could affect the relationship between the Elven Kingdom and the Bornean Empire, and my parents, my brothers. We can be careful. If we miss this chance, there won't be another. No, we can't go. And to prevent you from taking any foolish risks, I'm confiscating this cloak. You should go back. Fine, I'm leaving then. Watch out for the guards. I really want to see her. After giving birth to the little prince, the Queen became very depressed. In the past, noble women from outside the palace could visit her. Gods, please don't let me get caught. If I am, please let Theron place all the blame on me. Don't let anyone else be involved. At the Divine Spire, did you feel a gust of wind just now? Wind? What wind? You're imagining things. So you are here, Cheryl? Cheryl, I've been caught.